I know. So,
Couple chairs here for somebody. Okay, and then we got 3 seats up front. And there's some more chairs. There should be enough for everybody to have a seat or make yourself comfortable.
I mean, it's right at the beginning of Good evening. We'll call the meeting to open. We'll take attendance, ensure that all the councilors are present. Next, we'll move on to 2, approve or modify the agenda. The current agenda we have is the agenda.
Most recent, yep.
Perfect. I'll accept the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Motion by Kevin, seconded by Ann. All those in favor? Motion carries. Next, we'll move on to approving the minutes of the May 6, 2026 meeting. I didn't see any changes when I reviewed them. Everything went good.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of the May 6, 2026 meeting.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion by Peter, seconded by Kevin. All those in favor? Motion carries. Looking at 4, we have no possible action items, so we'll move on to 5.
Wait, did we already get to 4?
What's that?
You already.
Yes, there's no business in 4.
I actually would request to have public discussion.
We have Kristen on the agenda.
We have.
I understand.
She's-
I would ask to have public discussion, though.
Can we
You
move
guys
that
are just
down?
moving very, very quickly. Can we, I would like to speak during public discussion.
Now,
Public discussion is
We have a special.
where we have, yeah.
Right, but
An
any
agenda item.
member of, any member of our community is allowed to speak during public
Yeah.
discussion, right? Or is that saying till the
Wait,
end?
hold on.
No, I'm just asking it, is that till the
That's
end?
at the end, right?
Okay,
Public comments.
thank
It's
you.
under the public comments.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
If you want to modify the agenda and then.
Oh, no, it's fine.
That's
We can wait. I would prefer to wait anyways, so. I just want to make sure I'm not missing things.
No.
This is our first time.
Nope.
We're newbies.
That's all right. So we'll move on to 5, old business. CDS funding for the fire station.
Yep, so everything is on schedule right now. Pretty much all the materials are on site. So
Excellent.
last couple of weeks, they've had no issues. They're getting the ground prepped. We're going to start pouring. So we should be moving forward. They're still saying May 2027 to hand us the keys of the fire station, so
Excellent.
keep our fingers crossed. I would be more, think it would be prudent to expect more August, September, because we'll probably may run into some things, we don't know, but it is what it is.
All right. Excellent. So we'll move on to B, funding for the former municipal building.
Yeah, so the portal is open. I started submitting documents. It takes a long time to get approval for those documents. This will probably take us about a year to navigate before we even are looking at any of those funds whatsoever. So I'll just keep working through them. As the next prompt comes up, I'll keep clicking through. We'll be ready to go.
good.
I don't see us seeing money for 2 years probably, for that honestly. I don't think they're gonna move any faster than the rest of the year. So I'm just saying,
Wonderful.
I see that taking a long time.
All right. So we will move on to C, CDBG Community Enterprise Grant, yacht demo.
Yeah, so I submitted, we talked about this in the last council meeting about the foundation for that building, the quote that we got. Craig Gustafson is the contractor, just waiting for him to give us a date that he can start. Once we have a date, then we have to have the hole dug out, we have to have, that work done. That's still work that has not been completed as part of that project, so it's not additional cost to empty the hole. We're just waiting to have the go-ahead. When he's ready to come do it, then we'll get the hole open, we'll get everything ready.
Excellent. All right. Move on to D, the CDBG Community Enterprise Grant for the facades.
Yeah, so the two of the facade bids that we got, we declined because they were too high. Remember that? And CDBG told me to go and talk to some other contractors, but they had to be licensed, they had to be insured, they had to, and I have a couple contractors interested in putting quotes. I do have quotes from one already that are significantly lower than what the bids were.
Oh, that's
So that's, that moves us in a better direction. And I think they're more accurate to what I was expecting. So I'll wait until we get the other ones and we'll compare them and can make a decision when we want to get to do that. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel here too.
Okay.
All right, moving on to 6, new business. We have Recreation Department, Kristen Valancourt.
I requested this time on behalf of our group here today, and we are going to yield to Donita Ayotte, who is going to speak on our behalf. Let me get my table so I can. Otherwise, very focused. Okay. Good evening, guys. My name is Donita Ayotte. I am the owner of Northern Maine Kolachi on Main Street and a taxpayer in this community through that business, and a parent with a child who attends Van Buren School District. I am joined tonight by a group of parents and residents who are here because we believe Van Buren can and should do better for its children. We are here with a clear and a specific goal to understand what the plan is for rec in this community, not just summer, but year-round. What is being done, what is being built, and what timeline we can hold someone accountable to. Right now, what exists is a summer program that functions more like a drop-off point rather than a structured program. All ages, typically in one gym, no curriculum, no age separation, no sign-up sheets with 2 weeks until school ends. And in the winter, for most of our 152 kids enrolled K through 6, there is really not much. We believe our children deserve structured programming with real curriculum, real sports, real enrichment, and real commitment to parents all year long. This is not an unreasonable ask for a community investing over $3.5 million in its own government. Tonight we are asking for a direct conversation about what the plan is, who is accountable for it, and when we can expect to see it. We are here to listen as much as we are here to speak, but we do need real answers. That's all I have for my statement, and I will move on to my first question. What is the town's plan for year-round structured rec for the 152 K through 6 children in this community? Who is accountable for it, and when does it start? I guess that would be to you, Luke.
Well, it would be the responsibility of a recreation director that we don't yet have. We have had issues with rec in the past. We have invested lots of money in our rec facility over the last 3 years. It has been one of the most revitalized parts of our town. It was one of the first conversations I had with this council that we needed to do a revitalization on.
Okay.
And I can tell you the exact conversation. It was, I'd like to paint pickleball courts at the rec department. And one of the guys here, somebody said, geez, Luke, water, I want to have tournaments there, I want to bring people there. And one of them said, to that crap hole? And I said, yes. That's exactly why I want to bring people there. Because the people of Van Buren have to see the mess that they've been driving by on Champlain Street for 25 years.
Got it.
So, let me finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we have tennis courts at the rec department that have not been resurfaced in 50 years. And I had come, when my stepson Emerson was on the Caribou tennis team, I came to watch him play tennis on those tennis courts, and I was embarrassed for the town of Van Buren and the kids from the town of Van Buren that had to play on those courts. It was ridiculous. There was literally weeds growing up on the courts. So we started with painting the pickleball courts because it was a very cheap investment. That's what we have been focusing on with this council and myself, is incremental investment, finding small assets first, correcting them at a low cost, and then moving on to our next project.
Got it.
So we already had ARPA money, American Rescue Plan money, which allowed us to replace all the lighting at the rec department. So we did all the lighting. We did the pickleball courts. We installed 2 basketball hoops. And then the following year, instead of paying $212,000 to renovate the tennis courts, because we're not holding the US Open here or the Wimbledon, I hate to break the news, we're not. We decided that we could resurface it ourselves, hire a company to resurface it, and that we could paint the lines. And we were lucky because Nick Guile, who works for the town, because he does foundations, he can make straight lines, he's an expert at lines. So it saved us, that cost of that revitalization of that tennis court cost us around $35,000 instead of $212,000. And the high school had done it twice in 3 years.
So $35,000 has been spent,
In the tennis courts, the lights, and then after we had done that revitalization, this summer, these 2
sorry, do you mind
guys.
about, where did the $35,000 come from? Was that grant money or was that?
Yeah, it was ARPA funds, and some of it came from the sale of the former Northern Girl building.
Which the town owned?
Yeah, which the town.
Okay.
Yeah. And then prior to the new tax acquisition laws, because tax acquisition, like when we tax acquire a house, how we sell that, the law has completely changed on how we sell those properties. But prior to that, the town had ownership of Pine Tree Apartments, and it was fully occupied. It was the first week I became the manager. And we were able to sell that facility $329,000, I think.
Okay.
Which normally the council would have sold it for $500, and then we'd had a $500.
The old council.
The old council. But we decided to sell it for value, and what we did is we took those dollars, and we started doing renovations in our town with that money. That's what we started doing with the money.
Okay, so money spent renovating the rec ballpark has been
Total, I think we're under 60,000 probably in the last 3 years.
60,000, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, as far as the rec, so you mentioned that you were looking for a rec director, but nobody is in place right now since
So
Dean has
this
left,
is the
right?
deal, this is the deal. We're investing in the rec department. We want to have a good rec department.
Right.
We had to remove the playset because our insurance company was not going to insure us.
I had another question before you continued. If you were done with your first statement from my first question, I'd like to move on to my next question. that
Well,
has
did
to
you
do
just
with the rec.
ask about the rec director?
Right, but I had an actual question. I was making sure I understood what you had said in your statement first, but I had a question to lead into that. So the rec director position has been open since December, right?
Yes.
How many interviews have you done for that?
1,
Okay. How many applicants have you had for that?
5.
What has been the issue with the other applicants and why have you not interviewed them?
Well, this is the deal. The way our rec director's position requires them to be able to build an ice rink, to take care of the grounds and the courts, to mow the lawns, to create programming, to do coaching, to do the maintenance, to do the budgeting,
Right.
to do the social media, and to have programming that's good for not only kids. The rec department's here for old people too, it's for older
Right.
people. It's not just for one age group. We want to have the right rec director.
Do you understand that that is an absurd job description?
Yeah, he is.
That is and I'm saying this
No,
as
I
someone
agree.
who has come from the
100%.
industry.
I
I was a
agree.
recruiter for 15 years. That is a purple unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
You are encompassing 5 different job descriptions into one, and you're asking for a bachelor's degree along with it.
No, we're not.
And you're
It
asking for
said-
I'm not
it said-
finished, you're asking for someone to do it
Yeah,
for
it-
$51,000.
Yeah, so that's misstated.
Okay.
We weren't asking for a bachelor degree. We said it was preferred. But if
Well,
we had
from my
something-
understanding
if
and
we
my
had something
research, as
that
I've
rec-
spoken with some people regarding this position, you have specifically and verbatimly declined candidates because they did not have a bachelor's degree.
Absolutely false.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to ask those people.
Go ahead.
Who is managing rec in the interim with no director? Is that your job as well?
Say that again?
Who's managing rec in the interim while you don't have anybody? Is that your job too?
So that's been put on my shoulders, yes.
Okay, okay. Have you guys, as a council, considered splitting? Well, first question, is Luke the one that has complete oversight over how this job description is built, or do you guys have input towards that? Is that a collaborative thing that happens, or is that just solely his responsibility?
No, it is not solely his responsibility.
Okay.
We realize that that department entails a lot of, and we've had discussions. We had a discussion about the prior rec director and the job that he did. It's no secret that he was your purple unicorn.
Right,
That
are you talking about Brian?
I am.
Yeah.
So I think everyone sitting in this room, standing back there, ran through Brian's programs, and we know what he did for the town. Now, we're truly not asking for someone to fit all of those qualifications, because I don't believe another person like Brian exists on the
Right.
He was exceptional, beyond exceptional. And again, I see people nodding heads. I know that you all agree with me.
And he got fired for it.
I think that was the
Okay.
biggest,
He got fired
mistake.
because he was doing too much.
Yeah.
He was the greatest guy this town has ever let go.
Stacy?
The greatest guy this town has ever let go.
Stacy
Sorry, I
said
didn't mean to-
no, Stacy said Brian basically raised that group of kids, so.
So, again, we understand that it's a big ask
Yeah.
to find what we're looking for.
So my question
And
is,
some, well, hold on one
Okay,
second.
sorry.
Some of those duties, I understand that, maintenance of grounds and making ice, those are things that if we find a suitable candidate who lacks some of the qualifications, we're willing to try and find other ways
okay,
to augment that so that that's not all completely on their shoulders.
right. The problem with that though is that it's been open since December. And so when you run into, when you have a job description like that you have posted one time, when it really should have been posted multiple times, but one time, and that job description is out there and you have all those things listed, you are inherently deterring candidates and you're making your candidate pool very, very small. So my suggestion would be to revamp that job description, really lean it out a lot more than what it is, split it into probably 2 to 3 different roles. Honestly, you could move a lot of the maintenance stuff onto town maintenance to do. I don't know why that wouldn't be part of their job description anyways, to have town maintenance manage the grounds and run the ice rink, like flooding the rink and all those things. But if you were to split that role and have like a program coordinator who is running the actual sports piece of that, and then all of your other little things on it, you're gonna get a larger candidate pool and you're gonna find someone a lot quicker. So why that hasn't been, well, first of all, I don't understand why it's only been posted, or posted once. But,
That's according to you, Danita, but that's not true. It's been
Okay.
posted once on Facebook, but it has been on Indeed for a long time, and I kept having to delete it and re-up it to try to get it to come back to the top.
It's not even on the town website.
right,
Can I say something?
yeah, absolutely.
So, and, we have a concept, this council has a concept, we don't like looking in the rearview mirror, we like looking over, we like going forward. But a little past the Van Buren, I'm sure you've had an earful of it. Decades and decades and decades of neglect. Nobody doing anything, okay? Since and I'm not trying to blow air up my own horn, but since I've retired from customs, I've spent a lot of time volunteering
Yes,
at that
you
rate.
have.
Painting. We didn't announce it, but Paul and I, and Lee Willett, John, Susan Sanema, we gutted that building this winter. We went right through that building, revamped it, so if anybody didn't go yet, I'd encourage you to do so. Got a little bit more work in the front, we did the windows in the front. We're gonna get, hopefully Job Corps to come paint it. We fixed the lot. We were basically hitting the outside. You should have seen the holes we found, you should have seen the insulation that was missing in that building. It didn't make sense,
Yeah.
okay? So, we're working hard, you know, and at the same time, we're trying to save taxpayer money.
Right.
Because that's what it's all about. This town is a difficult town when it comes to that.
I'm sure.
You know,
I've
fixing taxes
read the amount that
is,
are.
you better get ready to get on.
Yes.
And so we tried to avoid that, so the old guys got in there. I think we did an okay job for a bunch of old guys.
Yeah.
June 8th, the place is still cluttered, big time. It's cluttered. It's a mess. The garage is a mess. So June 8th, we have, the high school kids are doing community service. We're gonna get a crew of them to come over. We're gonna gut that garage out. Tools are all over the place, balls are all over the place, uniforms are all over the place. We're gonna try to get everything organized. And my point is, I guess, shame on the town for having that kind of facility for anybody to rent.
Right.
So we're trying to make it nice,
I know.
so we can get maybe a better candidate.
Right.
Mowing the lawns and maintenance, we can deal with that.
Right.
But we really need to find somebody that can do the programming, do the budgets, write grants. It's a big job. Listen, I have never done a skating rink. I volunteered to do that. That is a big job.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And you gotta work with the weather, and you gotta flood that just right, and I got schooled on how to do that, and I don't mind helping.
Right.
But, again, years and years of neglect, we're getting there.
I know.
We're getting there.
And we see what you guys
We're
are
getting
doing.
there.
And,
Rome's not built in a day, but it, you know.
Right.
It goes even deeper than that. It's deeper than the building.
Yeah.
So when Dean was trying to pull out the basketball uniforms 3 years ago, he came to see me and said, "Luke, I've washed these basketball uniforms 3 times, and they're still covered in mold stains." I said, "What the hell are we doing with those? Get rid of them. We're gonna order new basketball uniforms." There are people in this room that donated to buy baskbasketball uniforms.
why do we need people to donate money when this should be coming from the town's budget? Why is the town,
Because they wanted to.
I'm
Because they
asking a
wanted to.
question. Why is the budget for the rec $4,300 for those kids? I'm not talking about payroll. I'm talking about the actual dollars that go towards the kids' activities, buying uniforms. This is not a responsibility of taxpayers to be donating money, or business owners to be donating money towards those things. This is the town's responsibility to be setting an adequate budget for those children to buy things and to go to activities. The only thing that has really increased over the last 6 years for rec is payroll. Payroll. $4,300. There's 152 kids in this community. From our math, that's, what was it, $48 per child annually? I don't even think it was that. $28 per child. 28 in the last 6 years. Every other item in the budget has seen an increase year over year, except for that one, well, not just that one line, but if you look at a few different things, that's one of them.
Well,
So hey, 1 second. No, okay, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You've had your moment
Continue.
here. I'm gonna comment about the uniforms. and the donations from the community to help make the recreation program what it is. You've been here long enough now to know that the people of this community are very, very generous
Yes.
in giving and supporting. And there's nobody in this room that can deny that. There are some businesses that have donated and have kept their donations private. There are many individuals who have donated to this community and to the rec department and to various other departments within the community who have kept their donations private. There's a lot of things that go on beyond or behind the scenes that the public does not see or does not know about. I will tell you this, every meeting that this council has had, the recreation department is always a subject of discussion and what we're gonna do and how we're gonna move forward. There's nothing more than I would like to see, that we have a director ready to start or whatever, but we don't. Like I said, please do not base your comments or your opinions about a $4,800 line item when there are many other factors involved behind the scenes that you are not aware of the generosity of this community.
Right, but again, then you are relying on taxpayers to not only pay taxes, but then turn around and also fund a program that the town should be taking out of the town's budget to fund.
But we're not relying on it. They came to us.
Okay.
They are coming to us.
Okay, then they wouldn't have to do that if it was funded adequately, I guess is my point.
They
Correct?
came and offered it to us.
I politely disagree with you,
Okay,
okay? People come because they're generous and they're kind-hearted, and this is our community.
right.
This is not Presque, this is not Bangor, this is not Boston, this is not Dallas or Houston or any other community in the country. This is Van Buren. This is a very giving community.
And I'm gonna add something to that. So when I became the manager of this town, I got pretty sick and tired of seeing people, whenever I bumped into people, that say, I'm from Van Buren. And I spoke the very first public meeting that we had about that. I'm sick and tired of people looking at the ground when they say they're from Van Buren. It's not right. They should be proud to be from this town. There was a lot of pride in this town, but at some point, this town got punched in the stomach. So the basketball uniforms was a simple thing. It was something we could give to our kids that they could take home and keep, that it wouldn't go back to the rec department to get all moldy, and that they could walk around town with something that said Van Buren and be proud of it. And I'm not seeing that same thing. The posts that we used to see on Facebook that followed every post that we made, that called us by our old nickname, and I'm not going to say it because I refuse to say it, but it begins with C and it ends with town. We're not living that life anymore.
Right.
We're going to develop some pride in this town, and those uniforms are part of that,
Right.
start of that process.
Pete, go ahead.
So, again, and I'll say, we have to worry about budgets. We have town meetings, nobody shows up.
Right.
And this council has, except for tonight, this council has been putting out there, please show up. We want you to show up. Because you find so much behind the scenes, and I'm not saying for this
Right.
subject, but for a lot of things. Town meeting. Every year we have an annual town meeting. We vote on our warrant budgets, guys. And 20 people show up out of 1,800. So, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you, girl.
Oh, I know you are. I know you are.
You wanna raise the budget, show up at the town meeting and make a motion. We wanna raise the recreation department budget so-and-so. But, keep in the back of your mind, it could raise the mill rate. Just saying. Not by much, but you gotta pay taxes. And it's not only rec, it's fire, it's ambulance, it's highway, it's general government, blah, blah, blah. So, again, my opinion on this, guys, the town is moving definitely in the right direction. Anybody in here disagree with that? Does anybody in here disagree with that? That it's moving in the wrong direction?
The rec department hasn't moved forward since December, so it's not moving in the
I
right
don't,
direction.
so let's, again, not said, as a group, let's fix it.
Yeah.
I got a question.
And let's move forward. But as the town grows, these budgets are gonna have to go up, because you're gonna have more park area, you're gonna have more rec area, you're gonna have, and we're gonna have to hire more people, and your budgets are gonna go up. They're gonna have to, it's gonna have to upkeep with the, you know what I mean?
Go ahead.
I just want to go off from one thing that you had said, Peter. The only reason that there's people in this room tonight is because of something I said, that there is no notice on the town website that there is meetings held. When they are, there's no
It
minutes.
should be posted.
There's no
Meetings are posted.
I know,
They
yeah.
have to be posted.
It's posted on the bulletin board here, but it's not.
That's not public knowledge.
Okay,
Yes,
well then that's our bad.
Qualifies as public.
That's our bad, and we need to fix it.
Yep.
And we need a PR person, and we need to fix it.
The meetings are every 2 weeks, on Wednesday.
First and third
First and third.
Wednesdays.
Which changed to Tuesday.
It hasn't.
Our bad.
It needs to be made public knowledge of the meetings, and it hasn't been. It hasn't been made for a long time. There is absolutely no minutes on the town website that people can refer back to of what is actually discussed at a meeting if you couldn't attend to a meeting. Because we did try looking back to find some information ourselves, and there's no minutes there.
More than one of us were actually told by two separate people that work in this building that there was no town meeting tonight. And every single one of us was all mistaken.
Can I just, can I go back to her first question?
Well, this meeting was,
that again.
We, multiple of us, different ones of us that are here tonight, were told by two separate people that work for the town, that there was no town meeting tonight. We were mistaken.
that it was getting changed.
This meeting was scheduled on the
Right.
last agenda. At the bottom of every one of our agendas, it says when the next meeting is.
So you knew it was today?
Yeah.
So why did you tell Kristen yesterday that it wasn't today?
Look, I just came back from being away for 9 days.
Okay.
And I
We're getting off
talked to Kristen at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I wanted to say. Her first question was, what's the plan?
Right.
And that hasn't been answered, so that's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
Is there a plan? Is there an interim plan?
There is a plan. We haven't found the rec director yet.
Okay,
What can we plan?
Right, and so,
He's working on some ladies that are gonna do some programs. So, my question is to you.
Are those two ladies, Nikki and another?
Yes.
I'm talking here for a minute.
yes.
I got a question to all of you.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you have a candidate?
So, and that's what I was going to actually
Do you
say.
have somebody that we could?
Yes, so that is what I was going to say. In the 3 days that I have gotten to be a part of this whole chat, not only have we found multiple candidates, but like we've qualified them and we can have them interview with you. That was 3 days of work.
Have they applied?
They've not yet, no. Well,
They meet your
they
qualifications.
didn't, hang on, that was part of our fact findings tonight.
Okay.
This was, okay, so you're getting defensive about me finding candidates, me doing your job.
No, it's not.
Okay.
And that's not our job either. We posted it.
Okay. What I am saying is that in the 3 days since we've become aware of this, we have found multiple candidates that we do feel could be a great, could fit in great with the role that you have posted. Yes.
Have you referred them to the town office?
We will be referring them. We have been working through this.
Have you?
We have been working through this and we will be referring them.
Excellent.
My next
And
question.
that's good.
Can you speak?
Yes,
Hold on a
absolutely.
second. Dean, go ahead.
Out of the 5 candidates, you only interviewed one.
Yeah.
Why all 5 weren't interviewed? We're not talking hundreds of candidates, we're talking about 5.
They didn't meet the.
Take the qualifications and throw them out the window, okay?
Well, let's,
Just throw it out the window for a second and interview the people that applied.
I actually agree with that.
Maybe, because just maybe, there's somebody in that group of people that's like me, that's not real good at maybe writing a resume, but once you sit down and talk with them, they're like, hey, wow, maybe this person would work.
I agree with that point, and that's very standard
That's just my
practice in
opinion.
recruiting.
Is there anybody in that group of 5 people that applied that are from our community?
Yes.
Okay. Why are we looking on Indeed for people out of town again? Why don't we look to hire people from our own community?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just my opinion.
I'm gonna move on to my next, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Here we go.
So, one of my questions was, this issue comes up, like how many people of you, adults, have children in the school system currently? Right, so I feel like sometimes young children,
Not young, no,
Okay.
not anymore.
and I want the rec to
unfortunately.
be for everybody, you know, as I've said, because my kids don't play pickleball. So as beautiful of a job that you did, I could utilize it, but the children aren't.
That's just.
That's just one. You know, tennis court's beautiful, we appreciate it. I don't want this to be totally negative. I want to come and voice our concerns and also come with a solution.
Right.
You know, I don't just want to complain, I want to meet you in the middle. So my child,
We're none of us sitting here. So I think you've all come here thinking we were gonna be adversarial about this.
no,
No, we're
I
not.
think,
If we can increase the rec budget and get a quality rec director, I think there should be more than one person working at the rec.
Yeah.
I think we should at least have a halftime maintenance person.
Yeah.
So that, and those two people could flood the rink, they could do some of those things.
Right.
It could be somebody that could coach other programming. I have no issue with that, and I have no problem bringing that to the people. One of you could sit down, we could figure out an actual budget for that,
Yeah.
and then we can get somebody to voice it at the annual town meeting to raise that budget. We're not gonna have a hard time passing a recreation budget at the annual town meeting. That's one of the easiest budgets to pass, because there's enough people there that are as passionate about rec as the rest of you. That's not a hard thing to pass. I don't have an issue with that at all. We've had the same mill rate for 4 years. We went down, and then we went up, and we're back at the same rate we were 4 years ago. I mean, we can afford to have a decent rec program, and that's why so much time has been spent trying to revitalize the rec department.
So I've got a question to the public. So I spoke with the chair, well,
it's definitely not done.
of the board today, just to kind of pick his brain a little bit, and he gave me, not to give him detail or anything, but he, you know, kind of the lowdown, and with the last director, it didn't work out. Okay, that's it, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But there are people on that board that probably don't want to serve on that board anymore.
What are we talking about?
There's a
Yeah, that was gonna be one of our next questions.
Okay, so please, if you're interested, we can reach out to the rec board. I know there's some that would stay on, but I know of 3 or 4 that probably. We need some good folks
Yeah.
on the rec board.
From my understanding, the rec committee has been kept in the dark on quite a few things, so, it
Not from the
exists.
town.
It exists, but it has been kept in the dark and sidelined from decisions, from my understanding, by you, Luke. They've been kept in the dark from things, so we're curious if we could
Understanding from me?
yes, like we've spoken to people from the rec committee, I'm not gonna name names, but from what we have been told, they are not given real access into, like making decisions regarding rec, and they're just kind of pushed to the sides and told that you're handling things. So we would ask the committee to restore the rec, or town council to restore the rec committee's voice, and then obviously open it up to community members. We have several people from our group that are interested in joining that and providing just our own insights on how we could improve things.
Sure.
Okay, like we said, we're not here to just complain. Like, we are here because we want to see change and we want to be part of that change.
Awesome.
So.
That's
Yep.
we're all on the same side here.
I do have one technical question.
Sure.
About the rec committee, because I'm not familiar with the rec committee and what they do, but it would be my understanding that if somebody's applying to be the rec director, like those applications should go
To the rec
to the
committee.
rec committee, but they are only seen by Luke, by one person in the town? It's just a question.
So the committee doesn't.
It's a department head.
The committee team, when you're
I think that would be a committee, that should be, like,
It sounds like he's wearing a lot of hats, so why don't we offload and delegate, which is how you do things.
A committee doesn't have the authority to.
Right, but I don't know, we understand that. The committee should be
Because they worked with Dean. Dean was a sports guy forever in the.
And he was looking, they knew that he was looking for a place to go, he needed something different to do, and they started with Dutch soccer, got him in with that, they funded the program entirely, again, we had an anonymous donor, and they brought him to council and to the town and said, this would be a good fit. That's what the committee did with Dean.
We understand that the committee doesn't hire and fire. What we're asking for is for the committee to have more of a voice and decision-making on this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, the committee should be seeing applicants. The applicants should not just be flowing to the town manager and then going into the dark and nothing happening with that. That doesn't make any sense. I think we
You
can all
shouldn't
agree
vote
on
for the
that.
town manager at all, they should have a committee, and then the committee should bring it to the.
Correct.
And you guys hire them.
Right.
Period. Well, shouldn't have to go through 3 channels, you should have a committee, they should do the interview, find a candidate, bring it to you guys hire them.
Does the rec director report to Luke, or does the rec director report to, like, what's the reporting structure?
It's,
Report to Luke, okay, so then it would
That's just how it
technically go
works.
through Luke. But I think that,
That's what we're asking.
That's how,
yeah,
That's how all the departments, that's how all the departments.
right, exactly.
they're department heads.
Yeah,
And they're the.
yeah, I understand how that works.
It's basically simple.
Yes, I understand.
Sorry, just a real quick question, going back to the job description. I know a lot of you probably know of me, but don't really know me. When you're talking about the job description, I'll be perfectly honest, I qualify for a lot of those things. I'm made to feel like the position is solely being held for a gentleman instead of a woman. Is that the case?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
Yes, and I put that out there.
No, absolutely not. Hold on, Christina, go ahead.
I feel like I just want to offer a different perspective, so I don't know if you all know me, but my name's Christina Dolan, and I'm also the vice chair on the school board. And I can tell you that not having adequate rec programs directly affects your school district.
As a middle school coach, I agree.
We have a huge problem in our district where, like you said, people say, I'm from Van Buren, our kids are doing that. Our varsity athletes are doing that, they are embarrassed. Because we schools. They want to move schools, and they have.
They are.
And they are, we have a lot of superintendent agreements. You can't put it on paper that they move for sports, but they have moved for sports and other extracurricular activities because we're not offering that at the younger ages.
Right.
And it's about programming, and I get it. I get we're working on a director. I have 4 children. I have paid over $500 just to Caribou Rec in the past year and a half. Okay? I travel 3 out of 4 of my children to Caribou to have what I think they should have as a child. And I get the budget, I understand all that, trust me. I do that on the school board, I get it. But it's not just about finding a director, it's actually giving a program. So if we don't have a director, back to kind of the original, what is the plan?
Right,
Say you
So I've got a
have
question for
somebody.
you, being on the school board. When we do get a director, are we gonna get better cooperation from the school to have these programs? Because that was a big issue.
You know me,
Big issue.
I vouched for pickleball, I have vouched for.
I'm talking for the kids.
And, hold on, let me finish. I have vouched for everyone since I've become vice chair. I have vouched for every single community member that has come to the board because I believe in a positive relationship. And I have been the one that has put my foot down to the superintendent, to the chair, and to everyone on that board. And I have said, we need to work with the community.
Thank you.
I passed the policy
Thank you.
that said, the town does not need to come to the full board to ask for permission to use the building.
So you know where I'm coming from, right?
I know.
Okay.
We still are though.
Okay, but you have to say something, and not to the superintendent. You've got to say it to Nick, you've got to say it to me, because we don't know those things.
Okay,
And
we
if
still are. I just made a request.
Okay, if that's still a problem, we have to know about it. We just passed our budget,
and not a single person from the town was there.
Yeah, they never even show up.
And so, but that's the problem, it works both ways.
Well, the town clerk, the town clerk was there, right? She was
yes.
there. Yeah, she asked.
She was there, yes.
Hold on a second, we have,
Yeah,
yes,
sorry.
another question.
Kathy, were you down?
I was not.
So, that's my question.
No, it went in relation to what Christina was saying. No, it's directly related. We're trucking our kids to Caribou because as much as I appreciated Dean and everything that he was doing, because my kids had something, they weren't instilling any fundamental activities. We were playing little games, so they don't know how to pass to their teammate, they don't know how to shoot a goal, they don't know how to throw the ball in. So we're asking for more fundamental things. In addition to my question with having young children at the school system, because I sent Maverick to the summer rec. You guys know what happens over there?
Yeah,
It's a nightmare.
it's disgusting.
He came home with disgusting behaviors, words, hurting his brother. On these nice 80-degree days, why are all of the kids stuck inside of a gym? One gym. You have high schoolers and kindergartners together. It's completely unacceptable. So that's what we're asking for with a structured program is having, and I know that's gonna be hard to get help, but you said something about high schoolers donating time, and we have talked about that. I don't know if that's a thing. High schoolers could gain community service by working for the rec department and doing small activities, taking them to the playground. You know, I mean, even I would support a small walk to Tasty Food. It's really not that far. Maybe that's ridiculous, but just to get them out, because I'm not sending my kids to the summer rec program anymore because it was more work for me on the tail end. You know, and I work out of town. I'm not here to pick him up at 8 and pick him up at 3 and pick him up if he's being rude. I'm not here. I want to support everything, but it's hard to do that when it's not, you know, having a child in the system and seeing the back, you know, I see it. I'm not just coming to complain. I want to help. I want to do something about it, but I'm not willing to give up, you know, some of the protection that I have for my kids.
Real quick, just piggyback off what everyone is saying. I am the middle school girls soccer coach for the school here. Something I absolutely love to do. Is this recorded at all?
It is.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it being recorded because I wanted it recorded. I care about this town enough that when some time comes around, I would coach these little ones absolutely free. Like, and I will repeat that. I would coach these little ones enough for free. So that when they do come to middle school, because we do have 5th graders that are playing. Last year I coached some 5th graders, okay? Some of these 5th graders don't even know how to pass a ball. So what does that do? That in turn makes the soccer program look bad for Van Buren. So, like, I just want to repeat that again.
Yeah, and you and I did talk about this in the grocery store.
I would do it for free.
Come to the town office and we'll make a plan.
So,
You shouldn't have, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't have to do that for free. I'm just gonna throw it
I know,
out.
that just shows that I care. I'm almost on the field and
and I know that. I've watched you coach, I've gone to games, I know the deal. And I'm not going to, the town, we used to have excellent programming. We won 4 state championships for the girls, 3 for the boys. That was all due to not just rec programming, but teaching in school as well. The fundamentals aren't being taught in gym classes inside the high school, and I am not, listen, I am not, I don't want to pass the buck.
We should be along, I
But it's not just the town's responsibility to form those programs, and there has to be a program, there has to be a program inside of the school that does that as well. And that's the reason we were so good in the years that we played, because we had it not just during the school year, but during summer as well.
Right.
Now, as far as going back to those, getting back to a program as comprehensive as we had, I think we have to be realistic in the numbers that we have to be in those programs. Because again, looking around the room, you remember playing Little League baseball in town with 5 teams, and you didn't get to play every night because there were enough kids on each team that maybe you didn't get to see the field, or if you did, it was for an inning or 2. We do not have that population base anymore. We don't have the kids. So while I understand that we want to have programming. We have to have the involvement from the kids as well. And I'm not, again, I'm not trying to pass this off as an excuse. It isn't. We do have to have programming. But the reality is, if you want to field a little league team, or a little league, have a little league, you have to have more than 6 players.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But we have to start somewhere.
And I concur wholeheartedly.
Our interests start with
Yeah.
this high.
You're preaching,
It grows and it
you're right,
grows.
you're preaching to the choir here,
Yeah.
because my girls didn't have it either.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of the things that, teaching that was not provided
Yeah.
myself. And so I understand your frustration.
Yeah.
And we want to fix it. And I'm glad that you guys are here, and I want to have, I mean, if we could turn back the clock and have it be what it was when we were kids, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Shame on
And we're not, like, we understand that this is going to take time, like, we're not expecting this to be an overnight thing.
Yeah.
But, like, as I just said, like, it's gotta start somewhere, and we have to make it, like, we have to see it as, like, an issue, and then we have to take steps to correct that issue. And the first step of that is hiring. Like, we have to find a candidate, hire that candidate, and give that candidate an adequate budget to then manage to make this into something substantial. And a candidate coming in to then manage a $4,300 budget, like that, and then rely on donation, that would be like hiring a CIO for a company and then saying, hey, but here's your tiny, tiny budget, we want you to do all these things, but go fundraise, that's how you're actually going to get to it. And that's great for a nonprofit, but when we're talking about like taxpayer money where we can allocate it differently, I think we really need to think through those numbers. Yeah.
Meeting.
Yep.
Show up, bring your people.
Hold on 1 second.
June 10.
June 10th, sorry, my bad. Oh, June 8th is the 12th.
Okay, just 1 second, okay?
So I guess I'm like a direct person, I like to have a plan. I guess from here, what I would assume that, I haven't talked to you guys, I haven't been a part of this,
Yeah.
but you're looking for a plan, an immediate plan.
Yes.
So the immediate plan is not gonna be hiring a rec director for $75,000 a year. Not gonna happen. So, like, just like if we wouldn't have a public works director, there would have to be a plan. So I guess what I'm asking for is there a way to have like a special town meeting, people show up, volunteers, be like, hey, school is out, there's no daycare providers in town. So let's have a plan, this person will do 8 to 10, and this person, so I guess that's.
Or could we
do have a summer rec.
could we attempt to hire?
We do have a summer rec plan. We do. We have 4 people right now that for sure will be hired on summer rec. We have 2 others that haven't brought in their paperwork yet, but that'll give us 6 to run a summer rec program.
And these people had been spoken to
They work-
prior to today?
Yes, and they've worked summer rec for us in the past. These are people that have worked summer rec for several years, since Abby said she was a kid. I think Abby started when she was 14. So, and there's somebody else that is, all 3 of them are 3 of the adults are school employees, so. And then another young guy that is just out of high school. And then there's 2 other names that they threw around to me, but I'm not familiar with the names at all, so I didn't know who they were. So,
I just wanted to piggyback off what you were saying off, we need numbers to make these teams. That's absolutely correct, and we see a lot of our sports lacking because we don't have the numbers. But we don't need, like, when it comes to the summer rec program, you don't need a minimum amount of kids to take them down to the Acadian Village. You don't need a minimum amount of kids. Every town around us has hosted like touch-a-trucks for the kids. We are the only town that doesn't do that, and that's just like one example of something. Madawaska Rec, the customs office down here, they opened up their facilities, they made the trucks available to these kids. The Madawaska Rec kids were bused to our town, and like these facilities are just as available to our kids. And this would be something I have a pre-K child, I have a 6th grader, and I have a junior. This would be something, all of these kids and all of that age group are expected to be in the gym from 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all together. They're all together in
That's
that
not the
gym.
plan for this year.
So,
That's not the plan
for it to be able to go, like,
What is the,
you have
Plan.
first
What is the
and
plan?
second grade,
So,
take them to do
Nikki-
something 1st and 2nd grade available.
Right.
For the older kids, separate them, take them to do something. It doesn't always have to be an activity or a sport.
Nancy
Like,
Treasure did
rec
about
goes,
that too.
yes, rec goes beyond sports.
Yep.
Completely.
Absolutely.
And we see that, we see schedules and activities and activities, and Madawaska, yes, we don't compare to them, but there's no reason why we can't. We have the facilities, we have the places to bring these kids to. Acadia Village, perfect example, does it cost money to get in there? It does cost money, so.
I don't think they would charge.
I mean,
And even if someone would charge, just, sign up sheet
we
for
also have the
parents.
band, the library ladies allow the rec.
That was one of the comments made by both Lukian and Abby, that they want to do more field trips. But one of the issues they claimed that happened over the last couple of years is when they were looking for a bus, that there were no bus drivers that wanted to drive them. And we don't have a van that would fit all these kids.
Last year, the rec kids were bused half by a lot of moms who volunteered and half by the van that was loaned to the rec department that was used
Yeah.
for the travel sports all year last year, and it was never an issue for transportation then.
No, we're not talking about a bus. I'm talking about to transport like a big group to the movies, let's say in Caribou, or to go bowling, or, that's something we talked about today, actually, about what kind of field trips they would like to do. You know, maybe to go to Van Buren Cove, bring some of the kids to the beach, or just some of those things.
So what's the plan?
Museum, or-
I got a question. Any chance we know when the last rec committee meeting was?
I asked that question to the chairman, and he said he couldn't remember because the prior rec director never said anything.
Okay, who's the chairman?
of the rec committee?
John Hebert.
John. So shouldn't it be the rec committee that's getting these people lined up and getting these programs lined up for the summer? Wouldn't that be their job?
Good luck.
Well, let's make, if they can't show up to the rec committee, let's
Yeah,
make
we
a clean
need-
slate, we'll hire 6, 7.
Well, that's the thing about it, the committee works with the director, so they were always, thinking of the word feasing, they were always dependent on what he or she brought to them, and then they would work that out. So, I mean, whatever works, we're in here, and let's make it
If
work.
these guys are not gonna be invested in it, then it's time for a clean slate, let's start new.
Agree.
How do we start now?
I'm not sure. Hey, hold on a second.
Just Rick's still on there,
Hold on a second.
but I think he would still.
If you don't mind, I would like to add to that,
Absolutely.
because obviously they've been talking in quite some time, they have children of all different ages. I think it might be a good idea, if it's okay with you guys, and submit it to you guys, and just write down their ages or grades that they're in, and what they would like to see happen in these programs. You know, and it might not happen overnight, it can happen over time, but just work with the parents, what they want to see, because I heard one parent say, my children aren't into pickleball, but yet the pickleball courts are being, renovated big time. But sit down or have the parents write what they would like to see with the programs, submit it to the board, and see what can evolve from there. And whoever's even starting over this summer, be like, okay, well, this is doable, and this is workable with this age group, this is workable over here, and go from there. But I think it would be helpful for them to write it all down and submit it to the board, so you have an idea, they have an idea, and they get feedback from somebody.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea.
1 second.
So whose job is it gonna be to call the people that are on the rec committee to find out if they wanna continue being on there, or if they wanna get off, so we can set up a rec committee and get the ball rolling here? That's not gonna last 2-3 weeks, and to get the ball going now.
Yeah.
Whose job is it gonna be to call them up and set this up?
Well, who's on the rec committee? Does everybody know?
John Hebert.
Contact the chair.
John Hebert, Chair, Nancy LaPointe, Secretary, Jessica Sear, Rick Dolan, James LaPointe, Ted Smith, and Paul Abbott.
Yeah. Is that a committee that can just be like dissolved, or does that have to be voted on?
Well, no, I mean, they have no term. So you
Okay.
just can't, you just can't.
Okay, I didn't know what kind of.
You know, yes.
I know this is on camera, so you're watching.
Tony, go
How
ahead.
did this red committee start from the get-go? There was no vote for that, right?
The Red Committee started years and years ago, okay? What year, if you all remember Richard Parent, okay? Most of you had him as a teacher in school. Tred was our first recreation director back in 1976, 77. Okay? And I believe that a rec committee was set up at the time. At the time, there were a lot of students here, mostly all of you, were participating in the programs going out. As our population dwindled, there were changes in the rec department leadership. Brian Hughes was, as Anita says, the purple unicorn of this rec department for many, many years. Okay? And most of you probably did some programming with Mr. Hughes over the years, and probably some of your children did, probably some of you, your young children were babysat by Mrs. Hughes. They had a big involvement in the community. And unfortunately, as Peter said, he got himself fired because he took on too much. Okay? And at the present,
That's not necessarily true, Paul.
well, not necessarily.
They had it out for him.
Yes.
I came out who had it out for him, but I won't do that.
But
Looking, but anyway.
But looking at, unfortunately, administrations have changed, different ideas have changed.
Was the rec committee notified that Dean gave his resignation?
Don't know, you'd have to talk to the chairman.
Okay, so back to the original question. Who's
Yeah,
Okay, so,
I know what some actionables now.
so,
committee?
I'd like to say going forward, there's not one of us at this table that disagree with any of the ideas that you have presented tonight. Not one. We all want to work collaboratively. We know this is an issue in our community, and we want to get it solved. This is a step. Anita, you said you found some candidates in your searches. Would you kindly submit them?
Yeah, well,
And then maybe we should, the rec committee or the town council, send out a formal request to fill out an application and see where.
Yeah, I think in these situations too, a smart move for you all could be to attempt to hire someone.
And we are trying.
Yeah, like you date them, and then before you have to make that commitment, you know, it's just,
Yep.
there are a few people specifically in the community who have applied that I think could just kind of like help you get by, and like you just kind of test that out and see how it goes. That way at least, and we're saying this because we're what, 2 weeks away from summer? Like we like, this is, if there is going to be something, like action needs to be taken immediately on that. Like you gotta get someone in and started figuring this stuff out. So just throwing that out there. Can we,
Just snowballing off what Luke said about the field trips and stuff for rec. I stay home with my kids, so I had no clue about any of the field trips that were going on. So kind of probably making that more public, and I know that probably isn't you.
I think they only did one. I think that's what they told me.
Right.
They only did one.
But like,
Which
What's that?
they did one specific one, but on separate days, like they bust half of them.
which is fine, I'm just like asking for it to be more public for the others who are stay-at-home moms or teachers who stay home with their kids and don't send to rec programs. And to also, like, I wouldn't mind volunteering my time to bring some kids who wanna go. Like, if that's, I mean, I honestly know that it's not like you, that we had a director back then, but also like, this is something that we could work on in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely need to improve our social media, we do. But again, sometimes we're applying for grants and we post some of these grants. We can't lock down the comments. And then you've got people not from this town
It's hard to, I understand the hardness, and I
I have
love
to
it.
submit this, so it's embarrassing. 'cause
It's just to keep in mind that, not everyone, Tanner hated going to summer rec program, cried for like hours on end going, so like, I don't send him anymore, but.
Well, we hope, our ultimate goal is to resolve all of these past issues.
Right.
Will we resolve them? Chances are, no.
Understandable.
I'm just gonna be blunt. We're not gonna solve all of the issues, but if we all work collaboratively, we can solve 99% of them.
So again, what's the plan?
The plan is that
The plan for this summer, like what is happening right now?
Could you please submit the names that you
Right,
have?
but like moving past, like you say you have Abby and Nikki, or like what is the plan with them?
Yep,
Because we would like to
they're
understand
creating
that.
a curriculum for the summer.
Okay, when should we expect that to be done, or do they have a timeline for that to be
Well, I'm
finished?
actually expecting it to be done.
Huh?
I'm expecting it to be done, which is gonna be.
What do you mean you're expecting?
Friday, or not this Friday, but the following Monday. So
Okay.
that we can put together the sign-up sheet to get, last year, the sign-up sheet for kids for summer rec went out June the 3rd, I think is what I'm looking at.
Awful.
And then summer rec started the 23rd. This year, we're gonna start summer rec on the 22nd,
Okay.
and it's gonna go until August 19th is the plan. So, and then that was one of the very clear conversations with them. Don't want them playing mat ball all day long. I don't want them at the gym all day long, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
I want them to have a diversive programming for the kids.
And that
And
creates.
again, it's not just for the kids, but understand, the rec department's for all ages. It's for everybody. The summer program is for the kids.
Right, yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, no offense, but like, kids are not mobile. They can't take themselves to do things. Like, our senior community can, our position is that we feel that we need to be focusing on the children when it comes to the rec department. Like, it really, like, when you think of rec, like, it really is kids. So, I just want to make that point. We do have another question regarding the splash pad. What's the current status of that project? Where are those funds right now? What's the timeline for that? Have we run into any hiccups with it?
I've been in charge.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I will give you a brief history of the splash pad and where we are at, okay? I took over the splash pad research about a year ago. I've reached out to people who make the equipment for the splash pad. I've reached out to contractors, reached out to construction people. And right now, we are at almost $200,000 for a 4-device splash pad. Okay? Looking, the water line unfortunately is on the wrong side of Champlain Street. On the left-hand side.
That's all right, they dig every day.
That's fine, okay?
But it's a state road.
But it's a state highway.
I got a permit and I'm for digging, it took me 2 days.
Yeah,
$3,000.
Toby, I'm happy for you, okay? I'm glad that you're able to do that. My research has found this. Yes, we can dig across the state road. It involves roughly $200 a foot to dig across the road. We have to have flaggers, we have to have state approved plans, run the line, and from the water line to where we would locate the splash pad is approximately 150 feet. Okay? At roughly, was it 200 or 2,000? Excuse me, $2,000 a foot.
$2,000 a foot?
That's what I was quoting.
Well, you get somebody from Caribou, can do it for $1,000. I've never seen that.
That's where I got my quote, Toby, okay?
Can we must have misunderstood. Where's that quote?
I've got it here, I don't have it, it's only my pad.
No, it's $2,000.
All right, Toby,
Regardless.
okay, that's what I was quoting, okay? Just the apparatus, which is all stainless steel, okay, comes from Canada. For the 4 apparatuses that I want, would like to have we're looking at a little over $100,000.
What was the grant that was secured?
There are no grants.
I was under the impression there was a grant that was secured for this.
There are no recreation department grants for this kind of infrastructure.
Got it.
Or this kind of
Unfortunately.
Okay, for spot.
entertainment, okay?
We wish there was.
We wish there were.
If there was, we'd have been all over.
Be flagging them down.
So right now, in my estimates and what I've gotten, I'm roughly at $200,000. Okay?
Okay.
There's a lot of other things that are hidden costs that I'm not aware of yet, but I'm still searching it, okay? It's not enough, all right? But for now, I'm having a hard time to go ask every taxpayer in this town for an extra $200,000 to build a splash pad that we are going to use approximately 6 to 8 weeks. A year, okay? I will tell you that the water usage is pretty high. Caribou's water bill, they have a splash pad.
Yeah.
Caribou's water bill is runs roughly $4,500 a month for water, okay? Prescal runs approximately $4,500 for water and another $2,000 because they have to treat the water with chlorine.
Because they recycle.
Right.
Because they recycle the water.
There's a closed loop.
So this was always only ever like an idea?
This was an
in the
idea.
works, but there was nothing ever budgeted for it? Okay.
No, nothing ever budgeted or whatever, because
When the project started, we were under the impression that the water line that we needed already existed at the location because of the school that was
There
there.
was a school, there was not enough water there, doesn't make it.
So the issue is that I think when the school was taken down, either they removed that water line during the demolition or it was under, right.
If we saw that this was a problem early, could we have maybe transitioned to a park that doesn't involve water?
Yeah, so we're talking,
Yes.
in the last meeting, and we're looking to get some playground equipment there.
Yep.
And I'm not even giving up hope on the splash pad, because I'll be honest with you, I can't believe there's not water.
I would love it because I travel my kids to
And we
Prescott.
don't need, what we don't need is a splash pad as big as Caribou's. We don't need one as big as Prescal's.
No.
If we just had one apparatus and a few coming up out of the bottom,
Yeah.
that would be enough. And when we originally brought this idea to council saying, we need to look at this, that's what I told them, that we may be able to get local contractors to do this. Caribou's cost about $800,000 to build. Prescal's, I think, was $1 million, Paul?
Yeah,
But their system recycles the water, and they have to test the water 2 or 3 times a day, because it has to meet the water codes. And I didn't want us to do that, so our kids don't care if the water's ice cold.
No.
So, I just wanted to see us have something like
They
that.
do, because, I mean, it is a struggle. We do have the school park. I have kids from 5 to 18. My 5-year-old is in school half the day. On his birthday, I took the day off for his birthday. I couldn't take him to school to play when it was just him and I.
Yeah.
We relied heavily on the Tasty Freeze.
We will have playground equipment at the park. We will have playground equipment at the park this summer.
This summer?
We will. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
We will have votes by the June meeting.
That's good.
Yeah, so it's something,
Again, I don't want to give up on the splash pad. I don't.
We can't buy equipment unless we go through you.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you
They're gonna
this.
have equipment this summer.
I think we're gonna have to go through you.
correct, but we have to bring it to the taxpayers
We
because
still have to bring it.
surprisingly, playground equipment is ridiculously expensive. I've spent hours researching even small equipment is, you know, $25,000, $30,000 for commercial grade equipment.
So this is the issue, this is why it's so expensive, it's because it has to pass a certain certification level to get it insured. That's what strangles us.
Yeah, I mean, could we have built our own equipment? Yes, but we wouldn't be able to insure it. We could have done something at the park, but then the town can't insure it. And the liability is just
I think
We can't flip the
Main Street
liability.
Park was a liability.
It was, and that's why we took the equipment down.
Yeah. Back in the 70s.
I think it's awesome. New rec, if we can figure out the new rec department, and if they want to maybe work on some sort of fundraiser, I'll donate the first $1,000 for the splash pad. If we want to try to do some sort of,
Nice.
I don't know, maybe, I thought there was, like, Danita, I thought there was a grant out there.
Unfortunately,
I don't know.
Not yet. Not yet.
If I was rec department, would want to, rec department committee, whatever, wants to try to do some like big fundraiser to try to raise some money, I'll donate the first $1,000. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but if people like, you know, if we, I don't know, we'll figure something out. But it sounds like people are very generous.
We can't bring it to a meeting under warrants.
That's all.
It's up to you to spend the money, but then, like Peter said.
It affects your tax bill.
Yeah, well, just for playground equipment right now, you're looking at close to $100,000 for a decent,
And that's,
it's expensive.
and that's not even a lot of playground equipment.
So we can't spend it, we have to go to you, then we gotta decide how much the it's gonna go up.
No, we can spend in $50,000 increments.
Right, we can't.
Out of our reserves.
Right.
Without taking it to town vote.
Right.
The council has the authority to do that.
For what we would like to see at the park,
$50,000 wouldn't cover it.
that's like a.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I like the idea. If we're gonna do something like that, I'd rather do it the right way. Come on. Temporary.
We got a couple of questions. Hold on. Christina, go ahead.
Just because Luke threw out some dates about the summer rec program, school does start on August 19th.
Oh,
So they all show up to rec and all blue.
Everyone's playing hooky today.
but it hasn't changed on the website.
No, we're
So the school starts on the 19th.
Wednesday, the 19th.
Is it just teachers?
The 17th is the teachers.
Okay, excellent. All right, so we didn't know that. Dean.
So I guess there's a question that's been asked, and everybody's been dodging it, but Tony asked who's gonna get this going with the committee, the rec.
I'll nominate Dean.
I'll
nominate Dean.
Dean has enough.
I'll volunteer. It doesn't have to be, what I'm getting at, it doesn't have to be a board member.
Right.
You know, I'm assuming we have to do all
Somebody that has.
we try to do this, so.
I guess.
If you want to contact
Somebody that has kids.
I'm just trying to get it up to you.
It's up to your question. If you're having somebody that doesn't have kids there that have no kids, and some people have kids that are in Caribou, I think, people that have.
So when that was formed, all those people had young kids.
And now, there's a new generation.
Everything's going to shit with our sports program, and they all go to Caribou. So no wonder our kids don't have soccer teams and baseball teams and.
We understand that, Dean. Believe me.
What?
We understand that.
Yeah, well, we need to act on it. We need to do something about it.
Pete, is there a set amount of people we need on the committee, or?
Well, anywhere on there, I think there's a certain amount. I think it's an odd number, 7.
It might be good to have a mix of kids with, parents with kids in school and, you know, people without kids in school, because like Luke said, recreation department is for all ages.
That's right.
So the committee should be represented by all ages. It's just my
So,
opinion.
Tony, you've got the names of the...
Yeah, I had the 7 people.
Okay, so are you gonna take the bull by the horns and go talk to the chairman?
Tomorrow morning, I'll find out. So I can tell you that. I can tell you that I already spoke with Hebert, and his intention is not, he would not do it, but he would want to be an advisor to the committee, and he's a good resource. So he would want to still be involved.
That's a fair point.
He just doesn't want to be, because he's a busy boy and obviously.
He does a lot for our kids.
And he did say, and everybody knows this, John has got a heart of gold.
Yes.
If you need something, come see. But we don't want to use and abuse them either, okay?
Going back to what I was saying, I'm gonna use myself as an example. My kids are all grown. You know, I wouldn't mind, I mean,
I wouldn't mind helping out on the rec committee. Because I also know how important it is for the kids and for the adults. I worked for a rec department all through college, summer rec. We want to have as many diverse voices, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And I can tell you guys, Paul and I are here, something happens at the building, we're there all the time, doing maintenance and stuff like that.
They've done a great job in the building.
And we enjoy that, and we're not done. We still have to put a roof on the garage, we're gonna run electricity to the garage, and people is ready to do that. So, again, we're
getting there.
We're moving forward, and I understand that
We understand the frustration.
the programming aspect has lagged in the process, but hopefully with this, we can get your input and have.
Let's work together.
Right, have a plan.
Excuse me, whatever candidate you guys decide to go with, I think there just needs to be a really strong directive that it is not just throwing kids into a gym and
Absolutely.
saying, it's very strong, figure it out, like there needs to be actual structure. Okay.
We used to get a calendar.
Detailed.
That's right. We'd have a calendar every week and parents would know what was going on. So some kids that didn't play sports, if there was arts and crafts one day, they wouldn't go to that day. But, so that's what we used to get.
But if there's no directive for the summer, who's putting that structure together? And are we gonna have structure?
Rec committee.
Yes, I agree that it should be the rec committee doing this.
That would make sense.
Okay, so tomorrow we're gonna know who wants to be on the committee, who doesn't want to be on, fill out the members. So are we, is the committee gonna go out and look for a person to come, or they're just gonna sit there and act stupid because they're not having any decisions into anything? So what's the job of the rec committee? What do you want them to do? Because if they go out looking for people and you bring them in, oh no, that's Luke's job, well, these people are just gonna say, okay, well, I ain't going to no meetings, it's stupid.
So I believe their role has always been an advisory role. As far as them actually creating programming or doing anything, that was never their job.
Yeah.
That was always done by the rec director.
Anyone's job.
And that's part of the reason why we're not just rushing forward with a rec director. We want someone who is capable of putting together
We're not rushing
quality
forward, we're
program.
moving like a turtle.
In the interim.
You're right, you're absolutely right.
In the interim.
Hang on a second, how many directors have we gone through in the last 10 years?
Too many.
Too many, right? Because they haven't been able to do the job that we're asking them to do. That, we have a responsibility to put someone in that position that is capable of doing the job.
Hebert even told me today, he says you gotta hire the right person.
So
It's not,
It's a diverse job.
would we be open, John, to potentially, if we revamped the committee, would we be open to them having more of a say in how to, because obviously what's going on is not working. So is there any way that we could change it and see if it would work? Because right now we got nothing, so it's better than nothing. So if we revamp the rec committee and have a couple moms, a couple, like Ann said, which was a great point, and come together and think of some activities, potentially that could work, because then you'd have structure from a mom that's like, oh, that's not gonna work for my kid. It's not just about me, but, just.
Because our other alternative before this was we're just gonna put together our own private group and handle all of this ourselves and just pull our own like department is like 30 moms in our group chat who are interested in, so, yeah.
Because we're willing to help. I would help do tennis. Nobody's approached me to do that. Think I'm pretty qualified to do that, to help some kids learn. Nobody's come to me
And
to ask. I don't need-
I've heard that too, where there are some moms that offered like T-ball.
Yeah, as long as I'm available,
And
I'm happy to
the
help.
previous rec director never got back to them. So, I mean, again, let's
look forward.
Yeah, we're moving forward.
Question for Luke. You have summer program, that's great, but like T-ball was in the summertime, do you have anything structured for that or set up for that?
They're supposed to bring me, we mentioned all these different things today.
Yeah.
They're supposed to bring me a list of things that they want to do for summer rec.
Okay.
And then a list of things that we need to order. because there's, you're gonna have art supplies.
Yes,
You're
of
gonna have
course.
arts and craft supplies and things like that. So they're gonna bring that to me so that we can go through it, I can order and stuff. Because usually we order a bunch of arts and craft stuff. But we will do that, that's part of it. But we also have Leah that's at the Old Town office and doing some artwork, so she'll be able to do a few things there too. Nancy had them at the library last year, a bit doing puzzles. And both Nikki and Abby are fully aware of what they want to do for the summer. They're going to put into a plan and bring it back to us.
But like for sports wise is what I'm getting,
Yeah,
like
yes,
football,
yes,
soccer.
yes, yes.
Okay,
I mean, a lot of that equipment may or may not still exist,
yes.
because a lot of it was just, some of it got thrown out, it was junk. It was so, in such bad shape.
No.
And to be honest with you, I don't think we really know what's in that garage.
That's why we're going through it. June 8th.
Anybody wants to show up, come out, you're more than welcome. I'll be there, Paul will be there, the kids will be there.
Bring gloves.
Bring gloves, bring boots.
We haven't had a rec director since December, so we haven't paid any wages since December till the end of the calendar year. How much money is rolling over till next year from this rec department, rec budget?
Yeah, we used it to do the renovation, so we wouldn't have to,
How much did you use to do renovations?
about 20,
We've spent approximately about $25,000 so far.
Yeah. And that's $25,000, that's all materials.
Audit won't let us roll from year to year.
It goes into surplus.
We didn't get paid. That's why I started a rumor that town council's getting paid.
Whenever there's money left over, it goes right back into the, what's the general government surplus?
Okay, that's fine, but
Yeah.
what was the rec budget last year, roughly?
For what? The total? I'm not sure, off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's outside of payroll, about $4,300.
It must have been around 80,000.
83 last year.
Roughly we paid
I mean, it's
20 grand, and roughly we paid 25,000 in the building. There's gonna be 35 grand kicking around somewhere. Is that-
Yeah, it doesn't roll, that's the only.
That's fine, that's there's somewhere, but there's money left over, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah, there is.
We'd have to spend it before June 30, or audit's gonna carry it to the next year.
Yeah, so outside of payroll, it's $4,300. Well, you have building expenses.
So I still got a little bit of work left. I'll be in there tomorrow. I don't anticipate spending that much, but maybe a gallon of paint or two or something like that. Bender Hardware, you know where that is?
That's fine. And we can put some on the account for the future.
We can spend that money.
Kudos to Peter, because he and a couple other volunteers started this up, and it just so happened that I finished working where I was working. I said, this is gonna be a good wintertime volunteer project. And it ended up, it was the two of us that did like 95% of the work in there.
Pete Lavasser too.
Pete Lavasser.
He did a lot of work, right? Didn't charge us nothing.
Didn't charge us anything. Keith Willett, Highway
New
Mechanical.
hybrid hot water heater in there, and made sure the plumbing was all up to snuff, so. New kitchen.
Yeah, so, granted, it's been on facilities, but still, we have that at the front of our head, our minds all the time, is that we need a rec director, we need to get programs going. Pete and I learned how to make ice.
So,
And
We got a nice spigot outside too, so.
yeah, we got an education in it. And then, you know what the icing on the cake was of all that hard work though? Is that, going right over there, came with a little boy, Haley, and he had his spiked hat, and the kid had I have no children, but that little boy had the best time of his life those 3 nights that he came to skate.
And that too.
And that was all worth it.
You had revitalization volunteer, for that weekend. They didn't have to do that,
We appreciate all of that.
And I'm not saying it, I'm just saying it, the community cares. Yes, the people care.
We see it.
And we know we care. We care too. But again, decades and decades and decades and nobody getting shit. I don't care if I'm on camera.
just to go back, when I looked at initially revitalizing, with Luke, this was way back when we were considering moving the whole facility. That facility was put in place in 1976, and as far as maintenance and general upkeep, there really was none done for 40 years. The entire time, that I showed. They slapped some paint on stuff. There was no equipment upgrades, there was no nothing. So we're talking 4 decades of decline. We can't fix it today.
And we were literally, I'm not kidding you, we were heating the outside. I don't know how we had to leave and began to hold heat. I mean, that furnace.
Well, it didn't, because the water heater was frozen.
Right.
The water heater froze, that heat pump, just the heat pump now heats it, no problem.
So we're moving in the right direction with this department. We have to find the right candidate. I understand that we need programming this summer, but I am not willing to make the same mistakes that were made in the past in hiring someone that is not going to end up working out for the town.
We don't need to hire a full-time person right off to get the ball going. We could hire a temp and get it spinning here.
I get you. I understand. I understand that we have to have programming.
Yeah.
We have a plan in place to get some programming done this summer, and we're going to continue looking for quality applicants to fill the position.
Awesome.
That being said, does anyone else have any other comments or any other issues that they would like to bring regarding this, so that we can move on in the agenda? Hold on one second.
Hey,
Jess, go ahead.
just to let you guys know, I know you guys are all gung-ho about the committee. You have to be a Van Buren resident to be on these committees. That's fine. That's no problem.
Yeah, I have other
Yeah.
people that I don't need to be on it.
She's just pointing out the fact that I didn't know.
I don't think she's done.
I'm not done.
No.
Okay.
So like, Stair Plantation and Hamlin pay money to the school. They also pay the town for their library, their ambulance, and their fire department. They do not put any money for it in the rec department. I don't know if this is something we can send to Hamlin and Stair
$750
Plantation.
total.
So if you wanna give, you want it up, that'd be great. Hamlin could, 25 and Stair Plantation 25.
I think that's a great idea.
I mean, we gotta
But
come.
neither does the county. The county doesn't contribute either.
No,
So the county covers the lake and the lake.
Right.
We don't get stabbed at me, that's all right.
But Cedar Plantation, they started, a couple of years ago, they started giving 500, and that's because of, what's the guy that does the lawn care?
Patrick.
Patrick Allencourt's wife wanted to make sure we got $500, and we did. And then in Hamlin, they started contributing $250. I don't know how many kids are from there or the other place, but for ambulance and fire, we do it on population. The amount that is contributed by those to for the contract in town is for population.
I will bring that to our town council.
I just have one quick thing, so if we don't have a director in place, let's say something doesn't work out, soccer is big for a lot of these little kids. And I know that there's a lot of planning that happens in the summer for your town to get into, I'll call it a league, for lack of a better word, to host tournaments and stuff like that.
Yep.
A lot of you were around when Dean first came. We hosted a tournament, and it was a huge success. And it helps the town entirely. Businesses, they get gas, they stop and they eat, they do all these things. Is that like, can we just make sure that that doesn't go by us, that we can participate in that? Because a lot of kids look forward to that, and they see other kids.
That's not just the rec director, that's part of the Aroostook County Recreation Directors Association.
Right, but what I'm saying is if we don't have a rec director who would be there to attend those meetings, to know when all those deadlines are.
Kylie has been really generous with her time for us. Like Kylie has said that she would run the soccer program, and Abby would as well. So if we're stuck,
So we have a plan for that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we did pay Kylie and Abby for basketball, to do basketball.
And they did
track and
great.
basketball.
They did fantastic. Thank you for that.
Ron?
Yeah, I think the biggest point of all tonight, and John can attest to this too, me and John have gone to many soccer games and basketball games. Our kids are roughly the same age, and we've seen the difference from when John and Tony and them were in school, and seeing how the kids grow up in school now. And like she says, these kids get to middle school and there's not, the competition is just not there. The education wasn't there. We understand that, right? We're all here for the same thing. But it's been how many years that there hasn't been a director? You know what I mean? It's been many years since Brian left. So I agree with you not wanting to hire and make the same mistake. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But just a little idea, they do have soccer camps, like Dutch soccer camp. They do have Tiger basketball. Some people can afford to send their kids there, some people can't, you know what I mean? What if, in the meantime, if you don't have a rec director, you can, I don't know how that works with the money situation, but what if you took some of that money and you were able to help some of these kids attend some of these schools, like Dutch
Well,
soccer?
Dutch soccer is completely paid. Here.
It is, okay.
They're coming here and live that,
Okay.
that's paid for completely.
Yeah.
That's paid for by, not by the town, that was paid for by the station.
And it's been like that for many years.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to do it.
And even that, the Tiger basketball camp, or any basketball camp, or, you know, just something.
One of the things that's happened in the last few years is that Tiger basketball has conflicted with Dutch soccer.
Yeah.
It's always been the same. This year I was told it does not.
No, it doesn't.
So, I mean, I can't see why we couldn't pay for whatever we want to go.
You know, if you put it out there for these kids, you know, to make it open for them, so their parents are like, hey, look, okay, you can go to
Is
this.
that Matt Rosignol's, does Matt do that? Who does that?
That's Tiger.
No, it's, yeah.
He's a coach.
It's Matt?
No, well, Matt is he's a coach there, but it's not Matt Gardner, it's Coach Gardner there. Yeah.
But he transports. But he does transport kids who sign up.
Yes.
Matt does?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the biggest concern too, though, to finish my point, is like, I think everybody's here to make sure that whatever goes on this summer that's gonna go on at the school, regardless of who does it, that it's gonna be something that's going to be educational for these kids. I know when I was a kid, when I would go with Brian Hughes, I didn't want to leave. You know what I mean? It was there, you know, we can all attest to that. My younger kids, well, Dominic and that, when they used to go into Gabby, well, when they would come back, how was you know, rec? We didn't even want to go the next day.
Yeah.
We had to push them.
Yeah.
That's why we need to. Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying, so that's why I'm saying, whoever's gonna do it, you know, I think they need to be held accountable. If you're going to commit to do it, it's just like any position you're in, you are all accountable for every position you're sitting at, right there, right? Yep. So I think they need to be accountable, and somebody has to be watching over them and saying, hey, what's going on here today? You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Summer rec for my kids was a no-brainer for me because they were right there. They just had to walk across the backyard to the school. They didn't want to go because it wasn't, the structure wasn't there. We need the structure, we need it to be safe for kids, and it needs to be fun.
Yeah, but we need a lot more than just 6 weeks of summer rec there.
Well, yeah.
My twin girls haven't done anything since the middle of December, and we're almost in June.
This is our immediate need though right now.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna work towards the fall, the winter. We're gonna work on that stuff, but right now, summer's coming up right on us. So I think, you know, we're focusing on summer rec as the right direction with a focus on where do we go after that, and we still continue the conversation.
That's where my concern was for T-ball, because T-ball was in the summertime last year.
Yeah.
My kids loved it.
All right. Anything further?
Okay, so we all leave the same goal in mind,
I think so.
that, you know, we strive to find somebody that will,
Maybe for the next meeting, we could put it on the agenda now for an update for rec, what's going on.
Our next
It's gonna be 2
meeting
weeks.
is the town.
Yeah, the next meeting is the,
Next council meeting is the 24th.
is the 24th of June.
Yeah. Do with that.
Yep, we have
So I'm
some.
assuming we're gonna have something in place by the 24th.
When does rec start?
It's annual town meeting.
22nd.
All right. Seeing no further business?
thank you.
We'll move on. Under new business to B, Pine Runners ATV Club, and you guys see that ATV club.
Stay for the rest of the meeting.
Yeah.
We're here now.
We might have more to say about it.
like an empty room.
Yeah,
You know, the ATV club is applying for a municipal grant through the state and municipal grant process again this year. They had never, in all the years of the ATV club until 4 years ago, applied for a municipal ATV grant. They let probably $1 million go by in trail maintenance that never happened. So this year they're applying for $94,000, and which brings them to about $200,000 since it's been us working together. So we just need the council to vote to approve that, and I need your signatures at the end of the meeting.
It's you that puts that in, right?
It's the ATV club. They bring it here, I have to sign it on behalf of the municipality.
Okay, we'll sign it after.
I'll make a motion to approve the ATV Club Municipal ATV grant.
I'll second that.
Motion by Kevin, seconded by Ann. All those in favor? Motion carries.
Okay, who made a motion, Kevin? And Ann?
Yep, Ann seconded, correct.
Charlie and Velma.
So we will move on to C, 2026-2027 county tax bill.
Yeah, I'm just realizing that the assessors need to sign that, so we're gonna have to have an assessors meeting to sign that. We can do that on the 24th.
Okay.
And you can't do it, the county provides us a tax bill, you can't not pay it. So the county increase this year is $22,209. And just a reminder that there was when they changed their budget year 3 years ago,
Right, we were playing catch-up.
we chose to pay the difference over a 3-year period of time. And so next year, we'll be relieved of this $24,653, so we won't have to pay that as part of that supplemental.
Right.
Now, the odds are we're gonna go up that much, but at least it's not on top of that, so.
Good enough.
And then it isn't due until September 1st, so we're all right.
Okay. So we'll move on to D, wastewater rates for 2026-2027.
Yep, so now, because of the wastewater infrastructure improvement that we did with the Sledgeville watering plant, and the Maine Municipal Bond Bank loan that the town took, so originally, the town was supposed to have to absorb $1.5 million of that plant. But we've got relief from Maine Water Conservation Association, and we were only required to pay $600,000 of that. So that, and this all started way before I was the manager. So now it's come due, and in this, it gets added to the wastewater budget. So we have to make up for that in our wastewater rates. So in order to break even in our wastewater rates, we need to increase the rate 7%. So what that means for a single-family home, for example, that was this past year $369, will go up to $397. That's 7% increase. The duplex would go from $739 to $794. But before we came up with the rates, before we looked at the rates, I actually had Jess and Heather call all the other wastewater, all the other places that have wastewater, this part of the municipal body. And our rates are way below everyone else. At some points, even half below everyone else. So a 7% increase doesn't even bring us close to what the other municipalities are charging. So we are pretty lucky to have that. And it does cover the expenses of the wastewater department, so it's good for us here. It's a good selling point for us here. But the increase we're proposing is 7%, you can cancel the vote on that.
Can we close?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, that breaks down to $1.08 a day to use your restroom. Okay, so I'll make the motion that we increase the wastewater rates 7%, effective July 1.
Okay, so a motion by Paul, seconded by Kevin. All those in favor? Motion carries. We will move on to E, school budget validation.
Yep, so we got the school budget numbers, and it is an increase this year of $13,662, which, listen.
Christina, that's unacceptable. I'm just kidding.
You don't wanna know Carol Lewis.
When you look at surrounding communities that are looking at a $900,000 increase, a $1.4 million increase.
Yeah.
And our school's been able to keep it to $13,662.
Guys are doing
Yeah.
right.
You guys are doing a good job. There's no
It's
issue.
not easy, but you guys should also know that we are now the only, SAD in the state that does not ask for additional local from our town. And we have phenomenal staff that make it work.
So my understanding from having attended several meetings with MMA and other organizations, that the calculation is going to change next year.
We're hoping, it's
And-
not passed, we're
Yeah.
hoping.
It sounds like some municipalities are gonna get very hard and others are gonna benefit.
Right.
And it looked like, in the conversations that I had, that we would benefit from that change in calculation.
Greatly, because as it stands, on October 15th, you need to make sure all of your kids are at school, because that's when the state takes their count.
Okay.
And they call it the EPS fund, and that is what tells you how much the state contributes to your district. It doesn't cover basic necessities, it's old. The calculations are completely off, so for, I think this is year 4 or 5, they've been trying to change what the calculations look like. So your big schools, Portland, Bangor, they're getting all this state funding, that's gonna shrink drastically, and the little guys like us, we're going to get our fair share of the money, because they're finally realizing, especially in like the special ed department, it's not adequate. And we shouldn't have to be asking our local municipalities for all of this extra funding when the state should be actually paying just to run basic necessities in a school that the taxpayers fund. So we're hoping it passes. Legislature happens in June, so we're hoping it passes here in the next few weeks. But that won't be until next budget season that we would see that. Yep.
So we just need to sign this for the school.
Okay.
Yeah, but
We'll do that at the end of the meeting. Do we need to vote on signing, or we just need to sign it? Even better. So F, we will move on under new business to the 50th anniversary of the Acadian Village.
Yeah, it's just a reminder that the village is having their anniversary celebration on the 12th or the 14th. They have a lot of activities planned. That really is a crown jewel for our town. We're so lucky to have that place. And just encourage everybody to go, at least attend a couple of the events. It really is an awesome place.
June 12th?
June 12th or 14th. They have live music, they have all kinds of things on there, free food, there's a lot of stuff happening. And just encourage you to go.
I do have a question about that. On the 13th, I saw that they're having food trucks and such like that. Me as Hot Mess Homesteaders, who do I reach out to have like a booth there?
Yeah, Gary Levac is looking for, Gary Levac was asking you about food trucks this week.
Okay. I mean,
Because
we're not a food
they
truck
had
by
one
no
of the food
means,
trucks that backed out.
Okay.
So they were kind of struggling, and it was one of the food trucks that they thought was going to be very popular.
Okay.
But they backed out at the last minute, and they've been, everybody's booked.
We have plenty of desserts,
Yeah,
food,
so-
I mean, yeah, you and cake and stuff. I'll reach out to Gary, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll bring cookies.
You heard me. Stacy will be like, they got extra, sit down.
All right. So moving on, next regular meeting will be June 24th.
Yeah.
You all heard it, right? June 24th.
Bad cop.
We have not there in,
I also want to see it.
at least this crew knows. So. And we welcome, we see 1-2 people every month or two that show up. That's it. And I'm gonna put this out there. Before I joined the council, I was 100% guilty of not participating and being out there and complaining. But now that I'm here, I can see that if you are not participating,
You have nothing to complain
you have nothing to complain about. There's a lot, and it's not to toot our horn, there's a lot of stuff that we have to go through, that if you don't voice your opinion, we don't know.
Right.
To be completely honest, I never knew when the town meetings were.
And we probably, somewhere, we'll drop a ball.
I'll be here, I already wrote it.
Nobody's perfect, but we'll make sure that that's done. It's gonna be posted on Facebook or whatever it needs to be.
We should mention that that could change because we had a town meeting on June 8th. And we were talking about maybe switching days.
Well, yeah, that's a possibility, but we'll post it.
Right,
yeah.
So it may be on a different day of the week.
Right, it may not be Wednesdays.
And unfortunately, that's because of me, so. It's just the way my work schedule is.
Yeah.
All right. So, moving on to 7, town manager's report.
Yeah, I'm gonna forego that and we do have a discussion, we'll take a discussion.
Okay. So we'll move on to 8, town council reports. Pete? Pete's good? Ann?
I'm good.
Well, I'm just gonna say I'm happy to see you all here. It's a tough situation, but we do need the people's output. So it's a start. I feel that we're doing the best that we can, but without any people's input, and don't get me wrong, input, and I work for Tulsa. Input at Tulsa, input at, I don't know how it goes at the hardware store or any other local.
It's not in that.
You know what I mean? We need the input to see over here. For us to understand where you're all coming from.
Yeah.
You won't get rid of it now.
The chairs are there, and if we need to increase the chairs, we will.
And to add to that, I've been involved in town politics ever since I got back from the Air Force. And contentious, negative meetings, this council was not like that. So if you're looking for a fight, we don't want to fight. We want to work together. We want to be, and before it boils down, we're going to cool it down. And if we can't cool it down, then we won't do it. So I'm just saying that in a general statement for everybody that lives in this town. Let's work together. The town's moving in the right direction. Hallelujah. And let's just work together to make it better.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
And I appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Number one, I wanted to thank all the town employees for everything they do for us, day in, day out during the week. The ambulance department, fire department, all the other departments involved. Our town manager, Luke, who puts in a lot of hours that are unseen and unnoticed. Unfortunately, he's not a sleeper, so he's up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's researching for grants, researching for different things to make our community better. If you want to see somebody who is really dedicated to this community, it's him. Both he and I are transplants here. We're both from Caribou. I moved here in 1976, and I'm not sure exactly what year Luke came, but this is our hometown now. And the people have embraced us, we've embraced the people, and it's been great. I'm not gonna piggyback on what Kevin or Peter said, because it's just gonna be a repeat, but thank you so much for being here, participating in your government, in your community. This is what we need. This is community action at its best. community government at its best. And it's what we need. We need to all function together. So, with that being said, thank you for coming. I hope to see your faces at our next meeting.
Almost set. You're all- So we'll move on to non-public comments. Anyone else? have
Yes.
Any?
Yeah, I'd like to use some time.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So I'd like to use my time during public comment to raise some of my own concerns that are directly connected to this community and some things. So when our group began looking for ways to fund better rec programming, the first thing that we looked at was the budget, obviously. And the first thing I noticed, obviously, is administration is the largest line item, and that's normal. Like, my payroll is my largest line item. But when any organization is looking to find money, you look at cutting payroll first. That's just basic fiscal management. So some of the things that I'm going to be talking about are going to be difficult. I want to make that clear. None of it's a personal attack. But the only way that we fix things is by getting a little uncomfortable. So what we have found and what we would like clarity on is that it does appear that our town manager is drawing compensation from multiple budget lines. So I would like to understand if that is accurate, and if so, what budget lines and how that all works. I want to acknowledge that I have read the Van Buren Town Charter. I understand Section 404 that he is permitted to serve as head of any department when directed by council. So it's not about that arrangement and whether it's technically allowed. It may be, but my questions are whether it was directed by council and whether that was ever publicly noticed and whether that total compensation flowing to our town manager across all those roles have been stated publicly. The reason it matters beyond the dollars is what it means for our day-to-day functioning of the town, because when one person is stretched across that many roles, things do tend to fall through the cracks. Basic things, legal things, we have documentation of some of those things happening. When a community member asked our town manager why public notices are not being posted as required by law, he said, and I'm quoting, "I am one person doing 1,000 jobs." And we agree that he is doing 1,000 jobs, and that is what we believe to be the problem. Those roles should not all be sitting with one person, and if drawing that compensation, should not be drawing that much compensation from those roles across all those roles. That should be consolidated, streamlined, and in some cases outsourced at a fraction of the current cost that you're paying for it. And some of that savings could then roll over into things that we discussed tonight, like better rec programming, etc. I want to point out two things that happened in the last 24 hours that speak directly to what we're talking about. First, this meeting was not posted on the town website until 9:38 p.m. last night. Verified that myself in the town source code, so I can let you guys see that if you would like. Meeting is at 6 p.m. Like, we need 24-hour notice for meetings to take place in a public setting. I understand that posting it here at the town office is public, but in this day and age, it really is not. If you're going to make it accessible for people, it needs to be online, like posted on Facebook or whatever social channels that you might have. As well as another issue, sources close to our program informed us that that a meeting that had been requested for weeks with the town manager did finally happen, but two separate issues have taken place. Like, we feel as though there has been very reactionary things that have happened. So, like, our mom group, for instance, in our mom group, there was a lot of things that took place over text, and then it seems like there was a lot of scrambling from the town to then interview people or post things on the website so that the agenda was online even though it wasn't the day before. So what we're asking is just better oversight of the functions that he's supposed to be performing. He's either failing to keep up with the scope of what his work is, or he's deliberately limiting public participation. There's only two explanations for that, and we're asking council tonight to determine which one it is, because one requires correction, and the other obviously requires a more serious conversation. The question that we are leaving with you tonight is simple. Do you think it is acceptable for one person to absorb 4 high-level roles? In our estimations, I'm not going to say it out loud like my plan was, but I would just like to understand, we would like to understand what he is pulling from the budget as far as compensation goes, so that we can have a better understanding of why that's happening versus rec programming going to 152 kids. So, my first question is Luke Dyer pulling from town manager, town director, economic development director, and ambulance director for comp on the budget lines?
Yes. Yes, he is.
So approximately that.
Not all, I guess.
An
not all
ambulance
kids.
is a stipend that I believe gets split between him and Amy Dion. So even with that split, let's say 50-50, that means Luke Dyer is being paid $182,000, around that.
God, thank God.
Right? Is that around that?
That's awesome.
No? Okay.
Not even close.
Okay, that's what that's budgeted for, so that's why, and
Not even.
this is why I wanted to ask this on record tonight, because I called to ask these questions. And I was pointed towards the person who would have interest in those answers, and I'm not going to, in my opinion, get clear answers. So that's why I wanted to ask that tonight. So we're curious, we're curious what his total comp is.
It's 85,000 as the town manager?
Yes.
And 10,000 as the financial director of the ambulance service.
Okay, and so you're not being paid for the town director, the comp line that was for that?
The way
And I say that because when I called, so, like Jessica said that you were that person, so I assumed that that meant that.
In Trio, when you, just to give an example, our departments are divided up like 0 to 100 is general government, 0 to 300 is police department, 0 to 400 is fire department. That line that says director, you can't change it. If you put it for 0 to 100, it's the same among all the departments, it doesn't change.
Okay.
It's the same name, I can't go to 0 to 400 and change it to anything else. That's what it is, it says director. So my compensation is a contract with the town of Van Buren.
Okay.
It is $85,000,
Okay.
which I will tell you all, I am the lowest paid town manager in the area.
Okay.
And then 10,000 was for the ambulance, as the financial ambulance director, because much like we were dealing with the rec department, we had a hard time finding an ambulance director that was a paramedic and knew a quarter from a nickel. And so we needed to have somebody grab the reins of the ambulance service before it sunk the town of Van Buren. It had lost $1 million in 6 years. So it had to be immediately corrected.
Okay.
So I became the financial director.
So who's the director then?
Amy. I draw from that, I draw 10,000 from that line.
Who's the director pay under general government
That's the
expenses?
bookkeeper, both Mike Willett and Mindy draw from that line.
Okay, and so who's the economic development director?
I am by proxy, but the money that is in that line, I
The
don't.
30,000?
I don't, that isn't for me, we use it to hire grant writers, or we've used it for economic development projects. But it's in that line, but it isn't paying the director. That's the point, we're gonna have to.
Right.
We have to, because an economic development director can pay their own salary.
Okay.
I brought almost $6 million to this town in the last 4 years. But I can't, now I have to oversee all these projects that I brought those funds in for. So it makes it super hard to keep going to get more funds. I just can't administer them all. It's complicated. So like, just as an example, the fire department, when we got the grant for the fire department, that took 3 years to navigate. And it is a huge burden as far as administrative paperwork goes. It's huge. But somebody, your town manager, that's what they do, they oversee that. But if I got 3 or 4 of those big grants, it's just too much to navigate. It's a ton.
No, I'm glad that we hear that.
I work every day for this town.
I'm sure that you do.
Let me make this comment. I came to this town 20 years ago as a police officer. I have no family in this town. I have nothing, I have no kids in this town, I have nothing. But I have given 20 years of my life to this town. I work every damn day from 7 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night And the people that received emails from me last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, they know that's who I am and how much I work for this town. I sleep about 4 hours. I work night shift all my life, and I can't sleep, I just don't sleep. So that's what I do. I have no life. My life is this town.
Right.
I married this town, and here I am.
Okay. No, I appreciate you guys clearing that up. It was, unfortunately, when you start digging into these things and making correlations to things, and then you call to try to get answers and things aren't necessarily said directly, it creates an issue to where you have to start coming up with your own plausible, reasons for things, so.
And I just want to add something to
Yeah.
This town council is trying to give me several raises. And what has been my answer?
Okay.
Because if you look at, we sign the payroll
Right.
every week. We know what he makes.
Okay.
We know what all the town employees make. Luke is not the highest paid employee in this town,
Okay.
by any stretch of the imagination. Not even close. Not even close.
Right. Okay.
So, when you look at what the surrounding communities are paying for their town managers, we are about 35% behind what we should be paying him.
Got it.
And for the amount of money that he has brought into this town since he began working, again, over $6 million in
We're talking
grants.
grant writing?
Grant money,
Yeah.
and grant writing that have directly benefit all of this community. I will defend him tooth and nail from here to the end of the earth for the job that he has done for this town. And anyone that thinks that he has any ulterior motives or anything nefarious about the way that he does business is misinformed.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys have specific performance metrics that you evaluate Luke on? Like, does he go through formal, like, do you have metrics that you hold him to, I guess would be my question.
As far as like a roof
So, and not,
like
something just
we don't
more
have-
structured. So my question is, does he self-govern, or do you have performance metrics for him? So I get the grant writing thing. I think grant writing's great. It is something that can be outsourced very easily. So my question would be, when it comes to things like public meeting notices not being put out, minutes not being put out, basic functions of his job. I'm not talking grants. I think it's great that he has brought $6 million into the community. I'm talking more basic function stuff. Like, is he tracked metric-wise by the council? Like, I think that's is that not a logical question?
That's a very question.
Yeah. Because if he's self-governing and not, what I'm trying to avoid is our town manager just going unchecked without any type of governance on him.
Anything that he comes up with or does any of the grant writing, basically all of the functions of his job, if there is anything that needs council approval, it comes to the council. And he brings it before us, he tells us what the situation is, and we sit and we discuss it, and then we vote on it as a council.
Okay.
That's the way the business is done.
Got it. So there's you guys don't have any kind of you guys don't meet and say, this is what we would like to see from him, this is how we are going to judge performance from him, and then evaluate him against those metrics?
We talk about that every meeting. I mean, we
Have we sat down as a five-person council and talked about it? No, we have not.
No, we have not. And yes,
Should we?
there is,
And not just towards Luke, there are some things that we probably should sit down as a five-person group and discuss the way we want it done.
I think it's important for us as taxpayers to have a council, it's kind of like, a great example would be a company, you have a CEO who is held accountable by a board of directors.
A CEO is judged and evaluated on metrics that that board of directors comes up with, and that's how that person is deemed fit or not. That board of directors then reports to investors. If you flip that with the way the town is, you have Luke, CEO, town council, taxpayers. And so as taxpayers, I think, I'm not speaking for all of us, but I think it is important that there are metrics that he's held to and judged by so that we know whether or not he is doing a good job aside from just bringing in grant money.
Yep. And I think if you look at the town, the proof is in the pudding. We have, our town has departments that take care of wastewater. Our roads and streets get paved. They get plowed in the winter. The performance, his performance is based on the functionality of this town. I don't have to have a checklist to tell me whether the town is working. And if something isn't working, we address it.
Okay.
So, I understand what you're saying. Could I write down, could we have a checklist and go by and evaluate him like the corporate world? We could. The town does not work that way.
I understand. This is coming from people that have come to me stating that they feel as though he operates unchecked, and so that is where this is coming from.
Completely false. Completely false, because there is nothing that happens in the town that doesn't have to first be approved by, many times signed for by the council.
Got it. Okay.
And we get audited every year.
Okay.
So we have an annual audit every year. So if he's stealing money, or if there's fraud, there's some that got caught here downstate, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, some town managers, they took ARPA money, and with COVID, they played with figures and stuff like that, and now they're in hot water.
That is not happening.
He didn't beat up anybody. What happened to the Holton town manager? They refreshed my memory with him. So, we're not in court.
Outward appearances, there's nothing behind the curtain.
Okay.
Is there something he could improve on? Absolutely. Is there something you could improve on? Absolutely. He's not the warmest and fuzziest guy, I won't say that. He's a police sergeant, retired police sergeant, hardcore, bald-headed, hardcore guy. He's not, I tried to bring bald-headed in. I call him the American Eagle, so. Well, yeah, I got a big mouth. One of my bad traits. I mean, nobody's perfect. Yeah.
So
that's how we judge.
Communication,
the operation of the town.
I will say, as far as communication goes.
Yes, that is all we're asking for.
We need to do better.
We are definitely.
That is something that we
Facebook.
We have addressed. We're and we're continuing to work.
I didn't realize it was y'all's responsibility. I thought that was the town's responsibility, which is
no.
Okay.
For posting stuff, you mean?
Correct. Everything I would do with like getting the.
It is not.
We're the town.
We're the town.
We are direct responsibility, but it is our responsibility to make sure it gets done.
Our bad, sorry.
So
And again, I want to make clear, none of this was personal, none of this was attacks, this was.
I get it. You were looking at numbers. You were looking at numbers in a budget and assuming that everything was going to Luke.
Yes.
Not the case.
Not the
case. Not the case.
I got something. We're voting on me here in June. Is there anybody else that wants to be here and try to do it?
Nope, absolutely.
Oppose me? No, I'm serious. If you feel that you have more or better.
Unfortunately, I can't.
No, I'm not. Anybody here or anybody on there. There was nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody has put their name in to try to do this job.
We've all run unopposed.
Yeah.
And I've been here the longest.
Well, I hope that starts to change, and that's part of why we came. Like, we went
public participation. I think it's important that the public participates in these things too,
And
because
that's
it's not
said at the beginning of the meeting, we want people to come and nobody comes.
Right.
So the biggest crowd we've had, I think I've been on council about 6 years, is the biggest crowd I've ever seen.
Not necessarily.
I will tell you this, in the interest of public knowledge, okay? I've been here the longest, and I've been through several managers, each with a different management style. Different counselors have sat at this table, and each has had different ideas and perspectives, and brought them forward. Some we agreed on, some we didn't. One of the ones that was a real stickler was what you mentioned about a performance package. Check the boxes. Tried it. And we failed miserably on 3 different managers. Only due to the fact that his job and what he does for this community changes hourly, by the minute, by the day, by the week. It is like you with your business, you go in the morning with a certain set of expectations, then all of a sudden you get 20 extra people that you didn't expect, so you change gears and you accommodate your clientele. The same applies to him.
Right.
And the state's constantly changing regulations too.
And his reputation out in the community and out in the state is stellar. Okay? Are there things we can do better? You bet. You bet. And communication's one of them, and we as a council are probably quote guilty of not completing that task, but thank you for bringing it forward. It's something that we can work on as a team.
Yeah, and I will go forth and say that every single organization that I've ever been involved with, from the United States military to the federal government that I'm currently employed by, to town governments, to the state government, if you look at any after-action report on anything, anywhere, ever in the history of everything, communication is the #1 failure. And it's a beast to get things out there, and we could probably hire someone at $60,000 a year to work for the town just to do communication for the things that are happening, updating websites, updating Facebook, social media, the town channel, all of these things. Yes, we're at the point where we need to have someone take that.
Well, if nobody's doing the town director role, can those, like, can't you move some of that money around?
Somebody is doing the town director.
Oh, sorry, you did say that, yes.
Yeah, so, that being said, that's additional, now we're talking additional government, we're talking additional costs, we're talking budget lines. That's going to be necessary in the near future, because he can't sustain the level of performance that he's doing right now, which is exceptional, especially considering all of the grants that he's juggling and the paperwork. Believe me, we get briefed bi-weekly on the amount of paperwork. I wish you would have brought the files in for the fire department and the hub, because the amount of, again, I work for the federal government. We know paperwork. Okay? We know paperwork. Paul's worked for the government, he knows paperwork. I don't know if any of you have had experience with that, right? So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
30 years of it, yeah.
Yeah, so we're eventually gonna have to hire someone to do economic development. We're not at that point just yet, but it's coming.
Right.
So when these increases in the budget happen, that we are hiring an economic development director, that we're hiring communication specialists, or something along those lines, I hope that everyone is there to support the expenditure of money to help the town grow.
Right.
Because that's what's necessary.
Absolutely.
At last meeting, part of our conversation was that we, as a council, recognize that he needs help to carry out some of these things. And we are discussing it.
Yeah.
So, you know, we are working at it, we realize we're a community that's grown in the last 5 years. And obviously sees future growth. And, you know, we are aware of your concerns.
Yeah.
But it helps when you come here to express them.
Say closed mouths don't get fed.
Pardon?
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Exactly.
We make the best decisions we can without knowing any of your information.
Yeah.
We try to run the highway department as best we can, does not cost too much money, but sometimes we have to spend that money to be able to clean the roads. So we're the ones that have to make those decisions. Without any input, we just go by what we...
And stuff breaks all the time.
We do have the cleanest roads around though.
And stuff breaks all the time.
Okay, so that is worth something in your head to notice that, and thank you for that, to notice that. And if you're right, you go through Madawaska or anywhere
Yeah,
else.
it's fantastic, you guys do an excellent
You know
job.
what I mean? So we have to try to manage that. That's what I'm saying, if there's anybody out there that wants, or has a different idea, and wants to sit right here, oppose me on whatever they were.
Yes. Yes.
No, but I'm serious. Until I sat here, I didn't realize that we need that input. Okay?
We are basically the birds in the nest waiting for the worm.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying I don't want to be here, I'm just saying if somebody...
Someone else wants a chance, yeah.
If somebody wants to step forward, by all means.
Unfortunately, I'm the only one up for election this year, you know, and they've had to run unopposed, nobody else wants to do it.
Next year's Ann and myself.
I just have a few more questions.
Next year,
Nothing's related, but.
Yeah, sure.
Well, first thing is, if you're saying that there's a town employee that's making way more than Luke is per year, well, I find that's ridiculous, and I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but I can't even think of anybody that would be making way more money than what he's making, so that's completely out of hand. Okay, that was the only comment on that. The dumpster closed on Mondays? They're all on our side, they're all questions. If there's a holiday on a Monday, is the dump still closed on Tuesday?
Yes.
Why would that be?
Because they do the holiday too.
Why wouldn't they get their holiday pay on Monday?
Because
They're not working anyway.
Closed. Because they're already closed.
They're not getting paid on Mondays.
If we give them their holiday pay on Monday, why wouldn't they get it on Tuesday?
Because it would be overtime.
It'd be like, yeah.
That's it.
Like holiday on the
No.
I've never paid overtime.
No, we have time for holiday.
On a holiday week, I don't pay overtime, it's 32 hours plus
Right.
8.
If the guy's not scheduled to work on a Monday ever, that means he never gets paid on a Monday. So why wouldn't he not work Tuesday?
Yeah, that makes sense, Tony.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
The guy,
I don't follow you.
this year, the guy's scheduled to be off on Monday.
Yep.
Holiday falls on a Monday.
Yep.
He wasn't working anyway. So why wouldn't he get work on Tuesday?
Penalize him because he was off?
No, when our case was on at all, I would pay him his holiday pay.
It doesn't put you in overtime.
Why would he do it on Tuesday? It makes no sense.
Because you have 2 days off, right? You had that Monday off? He already has that Monday off.
You get all one.
Right.
So you're penalized.
He gains the right to take off.
Maybe he wants the time off, all right.
So that gives
We're not penalizing him, we're paying him more, we're giving him the holiday pay.
I understand, but that's like any holiday that falls on a weekend.
Saturday.
You give them,
Yeah.
when Christmas falls on a Sunday, you don't show up to work on Monday, you have either Friday or Sunday off.
I don't need it open Monday, I just wanna know why. It's
That's his day off, that's his holiday.
It's absurd. It would be absurd.
Come on, man. How hard? It still makes no sense.
Wow.
Alexander Road?
Yes, that's coming.
Are you kidding?
See what I'm saying, Tony?
Put a smile on your face.
If somebody would be coming to these meetings, Oh, man, now that we're paying, we're gonna
If
get.
the minutes were all available online, we could know.
You're right. Oh, here's the thing.
Alexander Road paved.
I understand
The
that.
second driveway of the recycling.
I understand that having the minutes available for the town publicly
It's great, but they're also accessible.
It's actually
Required. It's literally required.
The last time we
It's required for them to be public. Anybody can walk in here.
Right, and they're publicly accessible. There's no, I don't believe there's a law that says we have to post it. They are publicly accessible.
I'll tell you what happened, I'll tell you what happened.
But I'm not sure. Wait, hold on a second, hold on, there's an explanation to this. Hold on. Go ahead. Pete, hold on a second.
It's 8:30 already.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So last night, I did go in and post the agenda, because our website's very difficult to navigate. And I wanted to show Mindy how to do it going forward. So I had to go in there and play around with it last night. It took me 2 hours to remember how to do it, because I wasn't the person who did it before. It was Devin who used to upload this stuff before. So I had to log in and try to navigate that website. It's not as easy as you think. I wish it was a much simpler system, it's not. So last night I was playing with it to get uploaded so that I knew how to do it so I could show you. So the minutes and the agendas will go up on the website every week that we have meetings. I just needed to figure out how to do it again so that I could teach me how to do it.
Now, I have a question, procedural question. Do the minutes have to be approved by the council before they be?
Before they get posted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever minutes, like the minutes for this meeting won't be available until after we meet on
Right.
June 24th.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, I will tell you is this, okay? And I want this to be well understood. By law, all I'm required to record are any motions that are made by the council and approved by the council. I don't have, by law, I don't have to write every comment, I don't have to write.
I don't think you'd have to.
I want everybody to know that by law I'm required to put all of the motions so that there is a written record of what actions this council has taken for town government. So sometimes you're gonna see, all you're gonna see in the minutes are gonna be motions. The rest of the stuff, yes, I will add some comments like, the old business, because it's an occurring item that's affecting the future of our community, so I'll put in the comment, all the materials are on, for the fire station, I just put in all materials are on location, so that when they're able, once it drains out and they're able to work, they have all the materials to work with. So, all personal comments or whatever are not included in the minutes, just the motions and to conduct town business.
Joyce, I know you had some.
Yes.
Yes, I came in to be put on the agenda, but you were gone. So they said, come on in and talk about public comments. And I said, okay. So I'm here. It's not going to take long. I just want to bring before the board that the church is struggling to keep the thrift shop open. Last year, we began with a new landlord, and they pretty much doubled out. I don't know what we were paying for rent before. I think Gil and Michelle were not letting us pay much. So the thrift shop was doing fine. We were able to keep things afloat and keep things going. So the rent has gone up significantly. And I don't know why our previous administration, our business manager, didn't see that what we were making was insufficient to cover the rent per month, and why he agreed to sign on a contract to do the rent as we have it, but we're not making it. We're not making enough money with the thrift shop to be able to pay the rent monthly. So it's becoming an added burden for the church. Our enrollment is down, we're not even making enough money to pay our bills. So we're hoping that we can bring it to the town, considering that We talk about collaboration a lot, and maybe us working together to maybe find a way to keep the thrift shop open and keep it moving so that the town can still have access to good secondhand clothing for the community members, especially the low income that depend on the thrift shop a lot for their clothing needs for themselves and for their children and for their households. So I'm here on behalf of Father Tony. He was supposed to come, but he had mass tonight, and he knew I was coming, he knew I was gonna talk to him. He said, yeah, go ahead, take care of it. So I'm just here asking if there's either another place that we can move to that you all would know or would have access to, or if you have any ideas on how we can try to maintain and keep the thrift shop going. We've talked to, Phil and I have gone and talked to the council members ahead of time, just to kind of give them a heads up about, why we're here. And basically, it's just basically to see if we could get some support from the town, and as far as keeping the place afloat for people. Because I feel like it's an effort, it's kind of like the food pantry, it's an effort to help the people of the town, and that's what it's about. And you guys are invested, and we're invested, and we'd like to continue to be invested in that way.
What are your figures, Joyce? I mean, what are you looking at for shortfall?
Well, our rent is $1,200 a month.
Holy, for that space?
It's $1,200 a month. He will not negotiate it down. He took the food pantry, brought it down in the basement around the back side of the building. All the repairs and renovations that needed to take place in the food pantry had to happen through Sandra's hard work and effort to fundraise to get the extra work done that was down there. So he's had improvements done to his building, and he's charging us a little bit lower rent because we're in the basement, so he's charging them like $500 a month.
So there's 500 plus the 1,200?
Plus the 1,200 for both places. So you're at $1,700 a month, and so it comes to like $14,400 a year for rent, just for the thrift shop, period. $14,400. So we're struggling. So.
How much did the thrift shop bring in last year?
I didn't get the funds because our bookkeeper was out. I meant to get them from her, and I didn't get them. I can get them to you if you guys need them to look at, but I can tell you on average, because we do myself and one of my volunteers, we do the bookkeeping every Thursday as far as the income that comes in, and it includes the thrift shop income. And we probably on a weekly basis, which is Tuesday through Friday, 4 days, we probably do maximum about $150 a week. Sometimes it's $63 a week.
Oh my God.
Sometimes it's,
That's $7,800 a year.
Yeah.
Roughly how much square footage do you need for that?
More than, probably about what we have, but I mean, I wouldn't say anything less, because, you have to go in, you have to figure it out. It's the right-hand side of the hall at the mini mall.
And then the basement.
And they have two. We wouldn't mind keeping the food pantry there, because it's already been researched.
So is this affecting the food pantry being able to be open as well?
No, just the pantry, just the thrift shop. Right now, it's just affecting, the food pantry is self-sustaining right now. They're doing really well.
In what Tony asked how big, I mean, I haven't been in your room either, I don't know. Comparing to this, do you need this room, do you need less?
It's 30 wide by 65 feet long, 2,100 square feet.
2,100 square feet?
About half of them, they got like 2 rooms, and then they
But
got.
we don't
own it on Main Street.
Yeah.
But let me think about it. I have something that I could just stew on things.
Or even if we can find a landlord that'd be willing to negotiate with us at a lower price, because obviously we're not making enough to pay the rent.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a hard fact.
So, I'm not trying to.
Yeah, and we are doing charity. I mean, we are doing like give away to families who are in great need, and they need stuff and they don't have anything to pay. We do, the church, that's our part of the thrift shop, is to provide vouchers for families who are in dire straits and have nothing. So we do that.
So if I go in there and I wanna buy clothes, do you charge me by the bag, do you charge me by the box, how does that work?
It depends, they charge by the bag, and then they have itemized things that are marked, $2 or $1, or they even have a free rack out in the hall, sometimes they have a free rack out there. They take in some household goods, so sometimes, people will come in and say they just moved in and they needed this or they needed that, and sometimes they'll throw in those things for those people that are there shopping. So, it is a charitable organization.
I do go quite a bit for like my kids, and it's usually by, like, if you're just getting one item, it'll be that one item, or they'll be like, just fill a bag for $5 or whatever.
Yeah, well, they're charging more than that.
Well, yeah. Just throw it out.
But anyways, so we're just hoping that we can be able to keep it open, but we figured we would come to the town. We like the revitalization program that you guys got going. We like the way the town is coming together and collaborating and working together and having a sense of unity. And I was like, why can't we be a part of that? Be a part of that unity and be a part of that collaboration and maybe get some help at the same time so that we're floating the place together, not just us. So that's what we're here for. We're just here to present and ask and see if there's anything that you guys can come up with as far as being able to help us out or help us to find a resolution to it.
Let us work it.
Yeah.
So,
Give us a little, really a couple weeks anyway, we're gonna see if we have something, see if we can,
all right,
it's like anything else.
because if it keeps going the way it is,
We'll
we're
have it
gonna have
tonight.
well, right, and the thing is that if it keeps going the way it is, we're gonna have to shut it down.
Yeah.
So, and you hate to do that.
Yeah.
No, we don't want that to happen either.
Okay.
Okay?
So let us work on it and see if we can find some funding streams for it.
If you want to get back to us and let
Get
us
some
know.
figures too, Joe.
Yeah, so if you could
Kinda know what we're looking at.
Yes, some budget.
Yeah.
But I did look at some old records, and I was looking at the old records, and even the old records were showing me that they were only making probably maximum, $800, sometimes $1,000 a month, and that was it.
Okay.
So they weren't even needing the $1,200. So like I said, I don't even understand why that business venture was made, where we said, yeah, we'll take it. $1,200 a month, no problem. No, it is a problem.
Well, yeah, see, nobody's perfect.
Because there was nowhere else to go to.
Yeah.
I think it's a time when there's nowhere else to go. I
Right.
think that discussion happened, but
Yeah.
there wasn't another space
Right.
at the time. Yeah, I don't think there's one now, but I need to think about it.
Yeah, well, and I don't know if, I know that Ted and Bill have some places in town that are vacant, that maybe they would be willing to, and I don't know if they're in fit condition, or if it's gonna be expensive to rent, or expensive to heat, or to put electricity in, or whatever, I don't know, so like, I don't know the layout and what's going on in town as far as what's available and what's not, so.
Okay.
I figured you guys would have more of an idea than we do, so, okay?
We'll definitely look into it. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. All right.
You guys are in executive session, all right?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's kind of refreshing to see cooperation, listening, really listening, not just hearing words, and really the collaboration. I wish that happened in Augusta.
Yeah, so do we. Sing it to the choir here.
I'm on the HHS committee, which is like loaded, and it's interesting.
And your name, sir, I'm sorry? Your name, sir?
Lucian Dale.
Hi, Lucian.
I was in Medicine Fort King for 44 years.
You were? Oh, okay.
Because I get to treat a lot of people from up here too, but yeah, I just took on this thing because I was asked to do the House, and then I was asked to do the Senate this time around when Sue Bernard elected not to continue, and so I go around talking to people. I can't help what like you said, you don't know, you can't help.
Exactly.
So I, spent the morning in Caribou and tonight here, and get to know our people, and
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you so much for coming.
give you some idea of where we are, and you hear that the concerns, and they're important.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, Thanks for allowing me to crash in. You're always welcome, not so sure about the coffee pot, but you're always welcome. Well, thank you, have a good night. You too. Take care.
You want to make the motion?
Make a motion. I'll accept the motion to move into executive session.
Seconded.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Ann. All those in favor? Motion carries.
We haven't changed.
Yes. So I'm gonna make the motion that the town of Van Buren.
We gotta wait till Kevin second.
Yeah, we gotta wait.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
We're back. We're back.
Oh, we are back? Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make the motion that the town of Van Buren renew the town manager's contract effective July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2028.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Paul, seconded by Kevin. All those in favor? That motion carries. I will now entertain a motion to
I'll make
adjourn.
a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Kevin.
Second, yep.
Seconded by Pete. All those in favor? Motion carries. We're now adjourned at 9:00.
It's still 9.
All right.